People want to talk that TC.
I think we're live.
Are we live?
If we're live, you know what to do. I mean, for playback purposes, hello, citizens of the Reject Nation. How's it going? Hey, people on the live stream. If you can hear us, you know what to do. Please go ahead, say we're live. I should have adjusted the slow mode.
The slow mode, so we'd wait to know we were live. Yeah. Slowly finding out we're live.
45 seconds. And
now slowly tell us, are we already live?
This is still set to 45 seconds for when we have like a massive stream.
Disney fan just told us we are live. 45 seconds hit.
Yeah, can you hear us, guys? Can you hear us?
They'll tell us in 45 seconds.
YouTube saying now would be a good time to insert ads. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be good.
We're live, mid-roll.
Also, yeah, we're trying to sort this out. We're trying to sort this out ad.
Yeah. All right, guys, how's it going? How's it going? It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a loose one today. We're going to have a good time. Plenty of alcohol required. We did not drink any alcohol, YouTube. Everyone be quiet about the alcohol. As a matter of fact, Coy and I, mind your face, Coy.
We're so far, Greg.
It's a readjustment.
All right, there it is.
See, on camera, it looks like we're not far away.
But these are the hosts, right?
There's actually a massive gap in between us.
The chat is us.
That's what it's going to be like.
Up there it is.
Yeah. to make this work, there's a massive gap.
It is the day after St. Patrick's Day, so we're here to nurse your hangovers with you. We are nursing our non-hangovers here with G Fuel because we're about them gains this year.
Yeah. So we have not done a live stream. What am I trying to say? Neither Coy and I are on our proper regimens today.
Yeah, nope, I'm just recovering from life.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, we haven't really been talking about much comic book movie news, and I wanted to regurgitate Coy's former career of Collider.
I lost my.
I wanted to bring it all back, but there's so much that's been coming out over the past couple of weeks that we talk about in our private time that I'm sure you guys engage with too. That I was like, you know what, man, let's bring it up. Let's talk about some shit. There's shit to talk about. But first order of business, just another reminder. Coy, John, and myself, we are going to be at WonderCon Sunday, March 26th at 11 o'clock a.m. If you are going, would love to have you there in attendance. Come say hi. It would be, and it's in large part due to Coy. He's very much responsible for why this all is happening right now. It was his idea. Actually, there's something we're working on where we have it behind the scenes where you can see Coy literally convince me. Maybe one day I'll release that footage.
It's just me being like, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, when you put it that way. Oh, also, people have asked me if there's like special tickets to this part. It's just at WonderCon, so like there's no separate Real Rejects live thing you have to acquire. Just physically be in that room Sunday, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. But yes, it did just start. Hello, everyone. And if you are here, please go ahead, leave a like. All right, let's kick this off. Coy, here's the first thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
I've seen a couple people mention it in the chat. Here's the first thing I want to talk about. What do you think about this? This is one of those things that for some reason I was like, I get why this is a headline. I get why this is a big deal. I can't quite surmise why it's a big deal, but Coy, that's your job to surmise why it's a big deal.
I'm just ready to surmise.
What do you think I'm talking about?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, baby.
The Flash. Because the headline reads like a Mad Lib. Like your brain goes like, why are these words in the same order?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense logically, but then you read it again, you're like, but I am emotionally invested.
I am like, this must be a good movie.
Like I'm more invested in Tom Cruise's take on the Flash than I think I would be about anyone else watching any superhero movie. Like if you told me after all these years Martin Scorsese was like, I really love No Way Home, and be like, that's weird. And I wouldn't I'd give it a thought, but not a third thought. But now I'm like, what was Tom Cruise doing? Did he bring snacks?
Yeah, what was that? So if you guys don't know, Tom Cruise apparently he was interested in watching The Flash. He requested to get a screener of it, and I think they just sent him a screener. He didn't even go to the theaters and watch it.
I think David Zaslav, he reached out to Zaslav, and Zaslav's like, yeah,
You're
and
Tom
sent
Cruise.
the thing. Yeah, like we trust you, Tom Cruise. And then apparently Tom Cruise loved it so much he reached out to Andy Muschietti himself to praise how good The Flash was. So if the trailer is literally just Tom Cruise doing like a stunt and going like, "But the Flash coming out," blah 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 blah.
I would love if the next trailer is just Tom Cruise at the beginning of it. The way how he like introduces like a Mission Impossible trailer. just
Hi, I'm Tom Cruise, and I love Barry Allen. Like it's
That
just
would be
so out of
amazing.
left field.
It would be incredible, and there is something about it, specifically him, especially for a movie that is so CGI heavy,
Yeah.
and for a film that is, I mean, it's a comic book movie, and Tom Cruise has never really expressed much interest in being part of one.
And he's not that deeply into the WB studio system. Like if
Yeah.
you look at what
Yeah,
Tom
exactly.
Cruise works in, he's largely Paramount.
Paramount,
He's in these studios. So Warner Brothers, I've never thought of Tom Cruise as being a possibility. Like Universal Dark Monster Universe is the closest we ever got to Tom Cruise in the franchise that wasn't the Tom Cruise show.
Yeah.
So to have him make this a statement and also to have him like want to see it early, I'm just so excited about what the movie feels like if Tom Cruise loved it. Because like Tom
Yeah,
Cruise loves
that's true.
movies
Good
that
point.
feel like Spielberg. He loves movies that feel like he's big on the 3-act structure of a movie resolving at the end. Like I don't
Right.
think Tom Cruise would be like, I really loved this movie that sets up a universe or ends a universe without closure. To me, this says this is a more complete story than a lot of superhero films have been the last 5 years.
Yes, yeah, I'm excited for it, man. What do you guys think about Tom Cruise loving the Flash? It to me, like some people in the chat have been pointing out. I know we got a couple of super chats. I promise, you know how we do. We will get to them. Someone in here, they just said it about. I mean, I don't know if it will be the Snyderverse, but Shaggy was saying like Tom Cruise being in playing Hal Jordan or something like that. I don't think he'd play although that would be ironic casting.
After all
Yeah.
this time and the final pilot. Is.
Yeah, it would be ironic but I would be, how awesome would it be if I mean, he was in The Mummy, and him having control of that did not do that movie any favors. So,
But I think that movie was trying too quickly to get to that point. Like I think that you know
Yes.
Iron Man wasn't rushing to anything. It just had the Avengers mentioned. Whereas Mummy was like, we got Russell Crowe. This is the thing.
Yeah.
We've got this picture of all these
Yeah.
actors. Like that didn't help.
well, it would be cool. Can you see him? Is there a character you can see Tom Cruise playing?
If they make the show of the Lanterns a passing of the torch from Hal Jordan to becoming the not maybe they don't rush all the way to the evil Hal Jordan, but they have the passing of the torch to Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
I could see like Tom Cruise wanting to be an elder statesman of flight
Yeah.
because that's what he does. That's a Top Gun Maverick story. Like they could literally just have him play Maverick Jordan.
Someone said Tom Cruise looking to play recruit Ezra Miller into Scientology.
Oh man, that is dark.
That would be amazing.
Someone earlier said Tyrese, I think his name was, said it makes sense. Tom Cruise runs really fast.
yeah.
I also love the idea of Tom Cruise just being like, I'm going to study his moves.
This we've dedicated an obnoxious amount of time to talking about Tom Cruise.
That's what the chat wanted. All right,
we
frankly,
have spent an obnoxious amount of time talking.
if
about
you're
Tom
having a
Cruise.
St. Patrick's Day and this is a drinking game for you, every time we've said Tom Cruise, have a sip of your Guinness.
Okay, and then let's talk about. I know don't worry, we have the chat in front of us. We're clearly aware that you guys are here. We just want to get a couple of things out of the way. For
Thought
sure.
your running fast joke was
Yeah.
great.
So
Tom Cruise, the question is cool.
where? Oh yes, that is a character.
The question's like a detective noir story. So it's a man that solves riddles by asking his own questions. It's very like existential pondering. So it's like a golden age. It's not written in the golden age. It's up until now, but it's a very golden age like think piece. And his mask is literally just a blank. So
Oh,
it's this man
cool.
who's like always thinking outside the
Cool.
box to solve things.
I'm wearing the cloak of levitation. Ladies and gentlemen, so one thing that we did not that has been all over Twitter this week too.
Mm.
Okay, what do you want to talk about next, Coy?
I think
Superman
we should,
or Shazam 2 bombing?
let's sandwich positives around a negative. Let's talk Shazam 2 and then we'll
Okay.
get to soups because
Okay.
that's exciting news. We're hiding John behind this chat box.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah.
But he's-
No.
I
John's
think,
actually somewhere really personal right now.
oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
His house. It's the most personal place there is.
Sleeping. Yeah.
I think the Shazam news is kind of indicative of the way the internet is treating what this DC reboot sequel rolling reboot is. This is going to be full spoilers because my main statement involves spoilers. So if you haven't seen Shazam 2 yet, sit quietly for 5 minutes for watching this live.
Well,
If you're not-
I think there's a way to avoid certain plot spoilers.
there is,
Yeah,
but
I think they have, look, plain and simple, guys. They have revealed 3, 2, 1. You have time to mute it. They have revealed Wonder Woman in the trailer.
and that's my statement, is
Yeah,
that
that-
this was
we-
so
keep it-
good, I want a rolling reboot more than a hard reboot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it that much, but I think the box office is now being like, oh, you want nothing to stay? Because that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
And so everyone that's like very upset about the DC universe ending that's not going to see this movie, you're ending the DC universe.
Yeah.
Like the one you want to keep the pieces of, it looked like they were giving you that option, especially with certain choices in the movie and especially with, you know, the friendships that are established. If you want it to end, you're doing a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but they did have a mid-credit scene that seemed to. I mean, James Gunn and Peter Safran are running the show right now.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's
so-
pretty clear.
And they let the give a thumbs up as to when I can me for new. They pretty much had a mid-credit scene
Yeah.
that, without needing to spoil stuff, really, like his wife is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just as she was in Black Adam.
and James Gunn and Peter Safran would have had to have given the approval to let this mid-credit scene stay.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much implying like, yeah, we're gonna keep him.
And it
That's
also
what
is
that's what the
implying
implication is.
keeping
yeah.
Justice Society things.
yeah, exactly. So
That's a Black Adam.
yeah,
Like, that's just happened.
but we're gonna ignore Black Adam.
But they didn't.
I know that's the surprising part.
That's what I'm-
It's
that's
Dwayne
a
Johnson
bigger
ain't-
deal.
Ain't a big fan. yeah,
But that's what I mean. That's a bigger deal than I think people are saying.
yeah.
I think everyone's talking about Wonder Woman. I think everyone's talking about the mid-credit scene and not acknowledging
Yeah.
the mid-credit scene says a series of words that just got retconned, but didn't
yes,
then.
yeah,
So, like, I think that's a really big deal mid-credit because if you're doing a series of 4 movies that's going to bridge the old universe and the new universe, one of
Yeah.
which is a literal flashpoint, then how are you letting a mid-credit scene that clearly implies we're going to keep all this going? And they very publicly said in writing on Twitter,
Yeah.
this can keep going if this movie does well. So I don't think it makes sense to have people that want it to do well to be the ones rebelling.
yeah. He's saying it happened before he came into control. We understand,
But
he
he had
still
to
gave
say
the
yes.
he still gave the approval for it to proceed and stay in the movie, even though he knows if they were going to excise it, it could have just made things more confusing.
Like his
Yeah.
wife was cast before, and
Yeah.
Peter Safran was involved before, and
Yeah.
he officially starts in May after Guardians. But he's already overseeing the future, so he's affecting the present, is what we're saying,
Yeah,
right? Like
sure.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. We will go to that other thing. Okay, let's go to we covered a Tom Cruise thing,
Mhm.
which was DC related.
Yep.
We should do an MCU related thing.
Okay.
We'll get this. I know we were gonna. It's a good thing slow mode is on
It's
right
a-
now
yep,
because
yep.
suddenly everything.
People want
suddenly,
the news.
yeah, suddenly, yeah. We will get this back. We trust me. Our brains are Coy's brains are always operating at if it's not operating at 200%, it's operating at 100%. I'm at like 80%. Give me like 10, 15
Saturday
minutes.
morning.
So this Chris Evans news.
Yeah.
I was so late to learning about this massive rumor.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so
This
late to learning.
morning.
it was last night when I was
Made
trying
the
to make a thumbnail. I was literally like, "What the hell do I put in this thumbnail?" And then I was seeing like, "Oh shit, this story was like taking off this week." Completely missed it. Completely missed it. And what's so the rumor is basically that they're trying to make a Disney Plus show with Chris Evans doing the whole it's called Nomad.
Yeah.
And it's like the journey of him returning the stones.
Right. And Nomad is a
yeah,
character.
Who's Nomad?
Nomad is
Tell it
generally
to the audience, Coy.
Nomad is generally a character that is Captain America feeling disenfranchised by America. He takes off the stars and stripes. He is a man without a country, a man without a purpose except for to save. So a nomad being literally like, you know, someone that wanders place to place, taking away his America allegiance. And Nomad is basically what he looked like in Infinity War, the end of Infinity War going into Endgame, that gap in the time that he was with, you know, Scarlet and, Black Widow and the characters that were on the run. So that was him as Nomad effectively already, but in the comic books what happens is other characters have taken on the Nomad mantle. Sometimes they're Captain Americas, sometimes they're other heroes as a sign of rebellion. It's kind of like I don't agree with what's happening in the system right now. And theoretically, you know, that seed was planted in Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier, we see him like, you know, not have allegiance to the organization that betrayed him. And it'd be a cool way to have the character be personified. I just worry personally that Chris Evans coming back and doing like, but it's in the past, is going to feel just like when they had the Black Widow movie after she already died. Like, it's going to feel like we undermine that beautiful third act that he had as an actor and a character. And it's also going to undermine what it felt like to go, oh, there's impact to the MCU. I think the big problem with the MCU right now is everything feels weightless, everything feels consequenceless. The multiverse allows things to have no ramifications. If you watch Quantumania, you could have not watched it or watched it, and it won't affect your next movie because that movie ends in a bubble that didn't affect anything. So that's a problem. And then if you're bringing back people from the past who have ended their arc, you're retroactively undermining Phase 3's impact, which is a beautiful thing. So Nomad's a tricky thing. I'd love to see the story of him returning the stones. I'd love to see the story of the time that they're on the run between Infinity War and Endgame. I'd love to see those things, but I don't know if it's worth the cost of undermining Chris Evans' arc.
I disagree. I think it'd be awesome.
I think dead stays dead. Sometimes dead should be dead.
That is weirdly one of those stories where 99.9% of the time I would agree with you. This is the 0.1%. This is my Ben Affleck BVS if there is a 1% chance. I would just chomp at the bit to watch that kind of show.
Yeah.
How cool. It just sounds cool. It reads a tad desperate to me.
It doesn't not.
It reads a tad desperate of, we got to go back a little bit because,
recently things haven't been great. What about back then?
Receptions have been up and down.
Remember when they loved us?
Yeah.
Remember when it's like a band playing a song and doing like a remix of their own thing? It's like a band being like, let's do a cover of our hit.
Yeah, and that was a multiverse journey.
And it would be good,
It would be
and
cool.
I love Chris Evans.
Yeah.
But I do think it not only shows desperation, but also shows like a lack of consequence.
Yeah, I agree. But it would be neat, and they're talking about getting potentially Scarlett Johansson back for it,
Which would work.
which would make sense, and then also getting a Robert Downey Jr. cameo might be the first multiverse one, whatever. I don't feel like we really need. I don't really need Iron Man for it. I wouldn't want that to be his return. I like the idea of it being like, this is starring Chris Evans. Let's focus on that.
And I also think that if you're going to bring someone back, it shouldn't be like it kind of like the Civil War problem where people were like, that was an Avengers movie. I'm like, no, it's a Cap movie, but I see what you're saying. If they
Yeah.
make this a Cap story, they're like, but everyone's here. It's like,
Yeah.
He's back for a team up. Like, I think Nomad would be a great way to show Chris Evans' range because if you watch Chris Evans movies outside of the MCU, they let him do a lot. And he gets to do plenty as Cap, but there's a lot of types of acting he doesn't get to do in the MCU. Nomad would allow for that.
Yeah. Mr. Gonzalez kind of agrees with us on this one. Old Steve on the Moon. Speaking of Moon, did you know that Pedro Pascal was approached to play Moon Knight?
I did not know
He
that.
would have been a good Moon Knight.
I love that. I mean, I think Oscar Isaac crushed it, but I love the idea that Pedro Pascal's take would be so different.
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
he's so charming.
I don't know if that's confirmed or not. Don't quote me on that.
Pedro.
You know what? Quote me on it. Let's go.
Greg Alba of The Real Rejects confirms Pedro Pascal is season 2 Moon Knight.
I think Secret Invasion. I'm surprised we haven't.
That'd be a cool multiverse.
Bringing him. Yeah, it would be cool. They're bringing up Secret Invasion in the chat. I don't know what's going on with that. I am so excited for that show. I feel like I could finish that comic. It's a short comic.
It's a short comic. And
It's
the new
actually
one's short too.
It's really short. Like
There's a new arc that's only 5 issues, and the old one's like 6.
Yeah, I was because I have the Marvel Unlimited app, and I've been reading manga lately. But I was like, I should probably make time to read Secret Invasion.
Well, Secret Invasion, I thought was supposed to come out in February originally.
Yeah,
and it's March.
They're doing some massive delays right now.
Well, I
good
think
thing.
Secret War is going to move a lot.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, I think, moves a little. I think the deep stuff moves a lot.
So hold off on that X-Men.
I think what they're doing
Damn
is...
you.
he's just woke up and realized he has a cloak on. I think they're realizing the writer's strike might happen, and they're going to be putting a lot of shows that are complete on the, like, ooh, we need content, and then just, like, pumping them out. So I think X-Men... I hope X-Men is more written than I think it is, because otherwise X-Men might be, like, 2029.
Yeah. I'm going to read... why did you allow fan base to be subjected to negative energy? Because sometimes you can have an opinion that could be a tad negative. I don't know what the hell
I don't know what
talking
that question is.
I don't know, but let's focus on it. It sounds like a negative thing about us.
Let's focus. Let's
now
talk
you're
to
gonna
him
take all my
specifically.
attention away.
I will now look at
all
you
my energy
and only
will go to you. Let's catch up on some super chats really quick right now. Thank you all who have contributed to the super chats, guys. We have had some age restriction shit lately, so the support means a lot right now. Appreciate you very much.
What did you do? You guys are usually so wholesome.
I know, and I'm trying everything out. Sometimes you might see in the text.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we put a little graphic on screen now that's like, note for YouTube.
You're talking to YouTube.
Yeah, I literally do that now, and it's something, and I'm like, okay, I guess.
What
it doesn't work.
age thing? Like, you don't even like have my language issues.
We're pretty good. We're pretty good about it. I even censor stuff, and then people still get mad when you send. I'm like, oh, you know what?
We need to have.
It's not even the language. I don't know. I don't know. It's annoying. So, but gonna catch up on some quick supers here. But appreciate everyone who's here. I love doing it. live streams are genuinely like they're super fun.
That's why WonderCon's gonna be great.
They're
It was so funny that there was
super
even a
fun.
moment of you. I'm like, Greg, whenever we do live chats, you're happy.
Yeah, no, I love doing live streams. I really do. I think they're a blast, and I love seeing everyone's comments coming in here and stuff. And I even like having this little chat here on screen because it's like it gives you guys a chance to have your name displayed in one of our videos, which makes me a happy camper.
We've named this chat John.
The chat is John.
And we'll get back to Superman after some super chats. We promise.
This channel is definitely more wholesome than it used to be. I don't know. That's why we got Koi here to shill for us.
Yeah. That's why I'm wearing a Marvel and DC
every
appropriate shirt.
Corner.
I'm shilling for everybody. This shirt just says shill, raised by shilling.
All right. Well, let's
we
let's
got
get
rid
in
of John.
Let's get in closer. I'm
All
going
right.
to move you back in a second.
Okay. Greg had to
okay.
deal with me not understanding spatial awareness earlier. I was like,
it happens,
where am
man.
I? What am I?
Oh, my God. Koi, don't worry. I'm going to figure this out.
Do you like monkeys? Yes.
Okay. John is in the middle
Love
of
monkeys.
something super personal, and I don't want to. Oh, my God. I figured it out.
Good. We got John back.
All right. Okay. Wait. Let's even our space out.
Okay.
See this? On our side, you guys can't see this. We have a line here.
Oh, there is a line there.
That helps us divide.
I see it.
So we know.
I see. Okay. There you go. How's that?
Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once did Cinema Sins? I don't want to watch it. You're gonna ruin my favorite movie
Yeah,
for me.
I don't like
I don't
that.
want to do that
Nope,
shit.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Movie's great.
That's too negative for me. I can't be that guy with some of my shit.
Yeah, I gotta like to enjoy.
I don't
want
to hear the flaws.
I
don't
need
wanna
to, some
hear
things
the
are just
flaws.
for enjoyment. I don't need to like dive into things.
Here, I think we're. Oh, we got a tad bit more than I expected, actually. Thank you. Dan V900, thank you so much for your super chat. Koi, here's what he's saying.
Okay.
I'm sure
Flourish.
they're on the docket. They're not on the docket, but I must once again recommend watching the Wonder Woman animated from 2009. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you for the recommendation.
Apparently it wasn't on the docket.
I watched that. It was not on the docket. I watched that before I saw the Wonder Woman movie, actually.
Oh.
And yeah, I loved that. That was great. And Justice League: The New Frontier, adapting Darwin Cook's work from '08, which is my favorite JF film. Thank you so much.
I'm a huge Darwin Cook fan, so yes, I am very in for that. And it seems like Greg loved it, so it'll be on the docket.
All right, Koi.
Added to the docs.
So, Koi, what do you think about? I'll let you take this one. What do you think about because James Gunn was saying that they want to put Wonder Woman in more animated properties and do that. How do you feel about that sentiment, Koi?
I think that he has said that the goal is to have the same actors playing the animated and the live action. So I'm curious with rollover reboot actors if that means we're going to have Wonder Woman Gal Gadot being voiceover, if we're going to have a new Wonder Woman announced with the Themyscira show. I'm very intrigued by what that means for the scope of availability for these actors. Like, how do you book someone and be like, hey, we need all these things? So I think it's very smart to get more Wonder Woman in animation because if you keep Gal, it's schedule fluctuating. Like, I think it's easier to get 2 weeks of voiceover work done than like 2 weeks of filming in the middle of stuff. But I also think that the character needs time to connect to people. Like, she doesn't get as much time as like some of these other characters. I'd like to have girls that love Wonder Woman get to spend more time with the character. So I think it's a character that is ripe for multiple medium adaptation.
Dude, I gotta say, man, I fucking love Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. She's got a lot of ways to pronounce it. Gal Gadot.
I
It's like Pedro Pascal at SNL. Gal Gadot.
Sincerely, like you know,
She's a delight.
Warner Brothers spoiled the shit out of her being in having an appearance.
What's crazy is the way they used it is so genius. To me, I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it totally undercuts the like.
And then
it's one of those things where
gets
like,
rid of.
why? Like they shouldn't have shown it.
I avoided it. I didn't know.
I'm sorry
I
to
managed.
anyone.
Yeah, no, sorry to everyone that Greg just trailered. Yeah.
Who was like,
'Cause I
I've been
avoided it.
intentionally avoided the trailer. Sorry.
I'm like, I avoided it. And you're like, oh, right. Some people did avoid it. Because I didn't know. And then the way they use it in the movie at first, I'm like, this is a great play on the first one. And then I'm like, oh, people would have been bummed if I'd known. And then people knew.
But I got to say, like, when she shows up, there is something about her that she really does have some type of perfect encapsulation of charisma. Like, she's never been the Wonder Woman that I've read or seen. I'll be honest, I haven't read any Wonder Woman comics that I've seen like in animated mediums. Right?
Yeah.
She's never been the Wonder Woman that I've imagined there.
That's a really good point.
But whenever she does show up, I'm like, Yeah,
She's
you
so
are
uniquely-
my Wonder Woman.
She's so
Yeah.
uniquely Wonder Woman without
Yeah.
being the comic Wonder Woman. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
point. And I agree with you. Ever since Fast and the Furious, I've been madly in love.
Oh my God, takes off the.
She's so
Oh
impossible.
my God, you got.
She doesn't even make sense. Like it doesn't. Like she's
No.
just so embodies grace and beauty.
Yeah.
Like that's why she's Wonder Woman in that way. Like she's wonderful. Gal, we love you.
We love you, Gal. Mary Coy. Jordan
Unavailable.
Garza. Jordan, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Missed you guys. Coy. I'm still reading my DC Rex in the middle of an all-star now. Love when you reply on Twitter. Always makes my day. Greg, the cloak. Yes, I got this cloak from Maria Hammond, one of our greatest supporters ever. I love the hell out of this woman. She's an absolute gem.
Great
Maria,
cloak.
if you're watching, I love the hell out of you. And
It's
yeah.
even cooler in person because it's got the like different layers and
Oh,
tapestry,
yeah, no,
like
dude,
patterns.
It is
like,
like a,
it's
it is,
well
it-
done.
it is not like a Toys R Us thing.
No, it's like dope.
Yeah, it is like a Hollywood Boulevard thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in between Marvel and available. Like
Yeah.
and like the little details of the clasps. Here,
Yeah.
the clasps look great.
Yeah, guys, if you want Coy to reply to you, you got to just say something mean to him.
That's
on
what you
Twitter.
do. That's what you do.
That's
Actually,
how you get Coy's
If
attention.
you notice, I respond tweet to nice comments and I copy tweet to
Yeah.
mean people, and it is what I do for
it's
pre-workout.
amazing.
That's what I do at the gym.
Dan
Sex.
V900 back in our chat. Thank you so much. Batman Cape Crusader landing at Amazon with the 2-season order is huge news. We got to get to the Superman news.
Oh yeah, that's
After
when we
we
come
do
back.
this round of Super Chat, we will get to Superman. Is huge news with Ed Brubaker as the head writer of the upcoming animated series. I'm very excited for this. Big Ears Batman.
Ed Brubaker, yes, Big Ears Batman. That's what they call him on the streets. Ed Brubaker is the man responsible for the Winter Soldier existing. Ed Brubaker famously brought Bucky back from the dead. Bucky was considered as dead as Uncle Ben. There's this thing in comics where it was the only 3 characters that don't come back from the dead are Gwen Stacy, Bucky, and Uncle Ben, and now it's just Uncle Ben. But basically, Ed Brubaker did the impossible and made that story really work. And what's crazy is it was not that many years before it was adapted to the movie. Like, we'd only had Bucky back in the comics like 2 years when Seb was cast as Bucky. So by the time like the movie rolled around, it was really shocking for like comic fans to be like, they're doing that storyline? Like, he hasn't even been dead that long. But Ed Brubaker, I feel like, was one of the first people that didn't get the credit. Like, he got a thank you in the credits, but it was very clear that that was when, like, adaptation wasn't going to pay the writers as much. So, for me, as much as I love the movies, as much as I love, you know, these things, it's good to see people like Brubaker getting to write on a show because that means he's getting his due. Like, he's going to get paid, he's going to get taken care of. I just worry that the comic book artists and writers that don't get the, like, guys, we literally made the, like Taika, when he made that frame straight from the comic book, Asad Rabis, the artist that was responsible for that Thor image, didn't get paid for them to literally make that frame that from his comic. You got to thank you in the credits. So Brubaker getting this work directly for Amazon, even though Amazon doesn't pay that great, is a great thing.
I mean, they make some great shows.
I mean, Invincible,
Yeah.
this, there's another animated series that's coming. They have The Boys, animated and live action. If you really look at like Saturday morning cartoons, it's Amazon. Like they have the
for a more mature audience. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, go, Andres. We know you. We know you.
We know you.
Hello from Boston. Well, I was gonna say a bunch of swear words that get us demonetized.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Greg, this channel's ripe for demonetization.
not the swear words that YouTube apparently says you can say now, but
Oh, there's certain ones.
you know the Boston ones.
The Boston ones.
C sucker.
Oh, you can say that.
You cannot.
Oh, I was seconds away.
I'm reserving this. I was
like, I'm ready.
gonna shout it.
I've got it in the pipes.
I
I'm
was gonna
ready
be the
with it.
character from Network.
I mean, we got some Ben Affleck news to talk about. You think that word's not coming out when I talk about Affleck?
Just finished my move. You moved to Boston?
Yeah, he did.
That rarely happens. Thank you, Greg, for a great last night in LA with the Flappers show. Thank you for coming. That was an amazing, amazing time. I'm excited. I can't wait to do that again. I wish I could have stayed and said hi in person, but had to take off at 5 a.m. Coward. You should have stuck around.
Who sleeps?
You should have stuck around. Well, congratulations on the move, and thanks for always being here, buddy. And I hope that Boston treats you well. They're a tough crowd over there, man. There's some tough mofos.
You got to find your people. Once you find your people that protect you. The thing about Boston is it's very intense groups, but once you're in a group, then you're one of them. You just
Yeah.
got to get in that group.
We got 2 Boston folk on this channel a lot now.
Yeah.
And I got 3 Jews. 2 Boston, 3 Jews. Roxy, Michael, Andrew.
Andrew. I don't think I know Andrew.
Got 3 Joes.
He's this is like a weird collection thing?
Yeah.
It didn't work out great last time. People were proud of collecting
My
Jewish people.
Secret Wars.
Who's Andrew?
You know Andrew? Oh, he's going to be so offended. Because every time, even that last time you met him, you were like, it was like, I've met you before. He's even said that to you in person.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm the worst.
terrible. You should reserve that kind of questioning off camera. You should just bullshit your way through it. And
Love
just go,
Andrew.
Be like, oh, Andrew's great. And then when the camera's not rolling, go, who's Andrew?
I'm a huge fan. Love him.
You're just going to be, oh, man, I hope he did. If you're watching Andrew, I mean, he's the one I covered All the Last of Us with.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
great. He actually is great.
It's great. I mean, on the channel, he would definitely be the second most knowledgeable when it comes to like the comic books.
Yeah, no, I really like that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I like his nuanced perspective. Like, he's not a Marvel versus DC guy in a very interesting way. Like, he's not as hyper positive, like everything is great as I am, but his reasons for loving or disliking are actually nuanced. I like him. Now that I know who he is.
I don't know. I can't tell if you're like clever at being specific or this could be
No,
a general
he's got,
specific
like,
to anyone.
I think that my perspective is I like being happy, so I lean positive. He likes actually looking at the details and going with positive, but it's by a more selective process.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I like his perspective.
Fair enough.
That's specific.
That is specific. Dan V900, back at it. Thank you, buddy. Poor Andrew, indeed, Tisha.
He's also got a name.
I'd recommend watching the Tom King interview with Sal from Comic Pop at the 51-minute mark that was uploaded 4 days ago. He discusses the creative process of Gunn's DCU and how the writers' room were brought in. That does sound good.
Also, Tom King being so integral to the shape of things is, I think, so good for the DCU. Having writers that are comic writers also be your movie writers seems like such an obvious choice if they have the skill set of, like, they're not one-to-one, but if you can also write a screenplay or have that kind of input, then that's a great skill. So Tom King being involved to the point where he knows this process, all of that is, like, yes. So I'm excited because he's a creator. So being excited about... Sorry, G Fuel burps. Someone's creative process is inspired. This is fantastic. I'll listen to that.
Thank you, Dan V900.
Comic Pop shout out.
That's something Coy would love.
Yeah, truly.
Hey, Coy.
So dismissive. Something Coy would love. People like Coy would
That's
like
what
that.
I'm here to do. Balance it out, man. Caligos, back at it. Hey, Coy. Hey,
Oh,
Coy.
hey. Oh, hey.
Hey, Coy.
Oh, hey.
As a Bostonian, can you recommend a few comic and geek toy hotspots around the area to check out? Cheers and much love to you both. You fucking homo.
Like, what is this accent?
Every Boston movie has that.
I mean, I do not like
you're
them
all
apples.
a bunch of homophobes. All you guys.
Newbury Comics on Newbury Street is where Newbury Comics started. Newbury Comics is one of my favorite chain comic stores. There's not a lot of chain comic stores that feel like that integrity's still there. They have a lot of exclusives as well as variant covers exclusive to them. So if you're looking for variant covers, they're a really cool spot, especially the one on Newbury Street. My comic shop, Larry's Comics of Lowell, Massachusetts, has closed its physical store, but I think Larry's still doing like pop-ups at hotels and like cons. Larry is like my crazy uncle Larry. I've actually known him since I was like 11. So look up Larry's Comics. There's Comic Command D, I believe, in Dracut. There is a bunch of interesting comic stores up in Nashua, Nashua, New Hampshire. It's like an hour and 20 minutes from you, kid, roughly, north. And then I would also say sometimes it actually comes back and it sounds like it did as opposed to me doing a bit and it's like alarming. My own brain's like trauma. And then I think your best bet is going to be within Boston is try to get the cons because Boston Comic Cons on Sunday, no one wants to fly those comics back out of there. So about once a month, you can get some really good deals, kid.
Well, one day I'll remember that advice when I go to Boston.
Just play it back.
Yeah, I'll be like, where's the timestamp here? All right. I know we got more super chats than this, but I do want to talk about Superman. I'm going to put it on pause. And I know we got a Streamlabs as well. So, in Streamlabs, that's also awesome. But last question here for now, we will return. We're going to talk about Superman Reboot. Will Turby's asking, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Would it affect Cap's arc if it was animated what if style? I don't know if it would affect it. I don't prefer it. It doesn't excite me.
It's not Chris Evans. Like, it'll be
Does
the
not
voice
excite
of
me.
Chris Evans, but I want to see those baby blues.
Yeah, I want to see Chris Evans in action. And let's face it, guys. He has the Gray Man, sure, that did well.
Oh man, I loved him in that.
But does he have anything else?
He's got that new rom-com coming out with.
That looks spectacular.
I think it looks great. I'm a big defender of the Chris Pine, Tom Hardy action rom-com, though. I love me an action rom-com.
This is War?
Yeah, dude. I'm the one person that likes that movie.
Wait, is it This Means War?
This Means War.
This Means War.
Yeah, This Means War.
Yeah,
I was like,
I thought it was great.
Oh,
I
yeah?
Yeah,
It
people
looks like
hated
that.
it. The McG movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it looks like that, and that's a rare vibe.
Yeah.
An action rom-com
You
doesn't
know,
happen enough.
Actually, I think I was just saying the opinion I heard of someone else. I don't think I've actually seen the trailer.
That's about as honest as like who? Oh, I like that guy.
I think I had that.
You just regurgitated the internet.
Yeah, I think I had that
'Cause I'm like,
moment.
this-
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not sure I've seen that trailer. I was just saying
I
what
was
someone else
literally
said.
thinking that looked like a trailer you would like when I watched it. And you're just like, no, the internet said it looked bad.
Yeah.
This was trending under negative.
Matt, this I was honest.
It's Chris Evans and
Honor de Armas.
yeah, like two of the most beautiful, talented people working
Yeah.
right now. Like that looks great.
But he hasn't really had a big hit.
Sense.
And plus in Gray Man, he's not coming back for a sequel for
Yeah.
reasons.
That mustache twirling was delightful, though.
Yeah, so I think he could come. I mean, it's good to keep it set. I just don't want his return to overshadow, New World Order. That's my one concern.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not really fair to Anthony Mackie, who's fought so hard to like have this
Yeah, true.
carved out for him. So even if it's within like the year,
Yeah.
no one's gonna talk about the comparison. They're just gonna go, "Oh my God, Cap's back!"
Yes.
And I'm like, "Dude, just got capped." Like,
He said it.
Roxy likes This Means War 2. Good taste, Roxy. Boston people
She
know
likes
what's up.
a lot of awful movies.
You know what? That one's not awful though. It's not awful.
She does.
I can't argue. I think Rocky just
But
likes things.
I'm just messing with you guys. I fully believe in having your own fucking opinion.
And like, I actually
And
like
will
that
not
some
put
of
you
her
down.
hot takes are hot in like a way that she can describe them. Like she can back them up.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to include her on the channel was because I respect how she's always very honest and doesn't give a shit like she really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
If-
that's
if,
like the Boston
yeah.
heart. Like I'm so proud of her for
I
holding
love
that.
Yeah. All right, got a couple of Streamlabs. Then we got to talk about Superman. I'm gonna build this up like this is the greatest discussion
That's
we're
the
gonna have.
thing. Now it's got to be.
Yeah.
All right, the stakes are high.
Sam, I like how unintentionally. Thank you for the Streamlab. I like how unintentionally DCEU is getting a nice send off. Soups and Adam. Is it a nice send off? Wonder Woman in Shazam. Is that a send off? Batman and Flash. That seems to be the only send off. And Flash and Aquaman have their own movie. Is there a chance of getting Cyborg in the Flash or Aquaman as a cameo, or is the relationship too far? I went to the Shazam Fury of the Gods premiere, and I still only gave the movie a 68%. That was intentional. It was just because
You're like,
I didn't want people to think I'm shilling because I'm at the premiere. I must say some negative things. When really I thought it was perfect. What I was going to say was that it was interesting seeing both Walter Hamada and James Gunn in the same Gunn and Peter Safran.
Hamada being there was very interesting to me. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he was involved, but it's still weird to be like the old guard and the new guard in one room is like this is
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah.
It's like Bob Iger and Bob Chapek just like, all right, we got to solve this Marvel thing.
I didn't see them talking with each other, but it was kind of interesting seeing them in the same room.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Cyborg comes back. Like,
No, not a chance.
I don't think Ray Fisher is gonna be
And
answering WB's phone calls.
And honestly, the way how Ben Affleck has talked, he tends to allow. There's going to be a time where I think Ben Affleck is going to get hyper specific about that Justice League experience because the more time goes on, the more the emotion comes out.
But what a genius marketing move. He's got a movie
Yeah.
coming out, and he's like, wait a second, they're talking about DC? Let me say one thing about DC, and that'll get my
Yeah.
whole article big. Like, I literally, you and I talked, and I was excited for Air because Ben Affleck's directing
Yes.
it. And then I called Greg, and I was like, that movie Ben Affleck's directing. And there was this, like, it was probably only 2 seconds, but a 2-second pause in a phone call is like a year.
Yeah.
And Greg goes, Ben Affleck's directing that movie?
Yeah.
And I was like, that should have been the marketing. And I was like, Ben Affleck is directing Matt Damon for the first time. Now we got a 5-second pause. I literally hear Greg like walking around the house, and I'm like, yeah, this is a huge deal. But the only reason we had that conversation was because of the DC quote.
Yeah.
Genius marketing.
I had no idea that he directed
You
it,
would
and
not
and
know
now I want to see it.
That Affleck directed Matt Damon if he hadn't said something about DC.
I still haven't seen Live by Night.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sure is fun.
He was distracted with some other things at the time.
He was going through life stuff because of apparently Joss Whedon.
But no.
His quote, did you hear about what he said about like the Joss Whedon experience already? About like it led him back to drinking and he wanted to jump off a roof?
Yeah, exactly.
Dark.
We will touch on it.
Okay. After
Keep
Superman.
focused.
Okay. I'm here.
Sammy boy. Jeez. Sokrat, I think I'm saying your name wrong, but we will get there. Sammy boy, I get how other superheroes get new costumes, but how does Shazam get costume changes?
I think part of the magic of Solomon is the wardrobe because it changes as you age too.
He has a great question.
Sorry, the wisdom of Solomon.
There's another great one. What happens if Billy is? I thought about this too. What happens? Because you know how Mary is the same looking.
Right.
I don't understand the rules of some of this. What happens if Billy is in is 30? Would he look like Zack? And what happens if he is 80? Would he age down?
He would age down.
I think he would age down. But yeah, is this supposed to? Is he supposed to age into looking like? Is Asher Angel supposed to look in like
Asian too?
Zachary Levi.
So in the comic books, it's not like that's gonna happen, but it's the prime. Like he's a prime body. He's at his prime age and all those things. But the Mary Marvel thing made it like this is the prime. So like apparently that is how they see it in the films. Is like you are that person.
But well, Asher Angel he's 18 in the movie.
Right. So like he'd be
He's
7 years older or whatever.
Nowhere near close to looking like.
And like
Zach Levi
and
by
like
that
Zach Levi would be what, like 25 is your prime? So like in 7 years,
Yeah.
You know what? In 7 years, I'm gonna go out like Zach Levi suddenly.
That's just funny to me. All right, let's talk about the Superman thing. It's been coming up a little bit in the chat.
Okay, we've been teasing it for an hour.
Yeah, as if we're going to talk about it forever. I probably got like 2 minutes thoughts, and that's about it. Maybe even less than that. Let's see here. How do I? Okay, that goes there. Hold on. Everyone be quiet. I'm figuring this out. Everyone be quiet.
Can I say something while you're doing it?
Fine.
Okay, thanks. There was a thing in the chat that said, "Oh, I'm back.
I got you.
I've been relegated."
You're right there.
Someone was saying that I shouldn't blindly try to be happy, and that I should look at stuff honestly.
Oh, great.
No, this isn't. I've just it's a comment on it. Like, but like the happy goal is my honesty because I think that art should be like you're trying to get subjective joy out of art, whether it's happy or sad. So I'm always going to go into it more optimistically than negatively. I'll say if I don't like something like Quantumania, I was clear about it, but I still went in wanting to like it. So I'm saying I go in happy as a goal because I will always want to like something more than I'll want to be critical of something. It's why I'm not a critic. I've worked with Rotten Tomatoes and I've avoided ever getting accredited at Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not a critic. So I will always want to enjoy something and I will always tell you the things I enjoyed about it more than leaning critically. And that's all I meant. I will be honest with you, but I will still always prefer to enjoy it and look for those things. I will seek joy 10 times out of 10 because the world's dark enough. Like I don't need the criticism of art to be my guiding force because I don't like the planet in nonfiction as
God,
much.
you're always getting so triggered, Coy.
I'm letting someone know why I'm positive.
Jesus, Coy.
Superman?
Always so negative.
Always
All
just
right.
the worst.
While I finally remember to share this on social media, I'll get my quick thoughts out of the way. And then, Coy.
Yes.
Is the chat centered?
Yes.
It looks centered to me. I don't know. Oh, let me go to the bottom here. I fucked this up, everyone. There we go. Okay. James Gunn directing Superman Legacy.
Yes.
The thing I've been building up to. Here's my thoughts.
Give it.
No shit. Who thought otherwise?
I'm glad we waited for that. I think we should have waited for that a little longer. We should have teased it more.
It was the most unsurprising news ever. I mean, if he really wants to help set the stage and help set the tone, if he has a specific direction, he's gonna definitely be like, all right, well then I gotta be the one to direct it, so that way I can
make the universe,
set the stage. And do I need to move a little to your left or my left? I'm trying to.
Someone said John is centered, and I couldn't stop laughing.
So yeah, I think it's a good call. There's a lot of people I talk to. Who don't feel like James Gunn is the right choice. Like off camera, there's going to be people I talk to who don't feel like Gunn is the right. And when I say people I talk to, I'm like talking about other YouTubers you guys might know, and they don't feel like he's the right choice. I
think he's perfect.
I'm like, no, I don't think he's going to make like an R-rated vulgar Superman movie. I think he's a great choice. I think he's perfect in a lot
Greg,
of ways.
do you know the director of Elf is directing Iron Man? What an abomination. He's going to ruin it. Is he going to make Will Ferrell Iron Man? There's going to be a lot of stupid jokes.
You mean one of the stars of Couples Retreat?
Yeah, I mean the guy that made, that indie film with Vince Vaughn. Do you think that guy can really make an Iron Man movie? Like, that's the mentality, and it's so short-sighted and ignorant.
But
like, I don't understand how people think people have one thing they do.
But he worked on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
He did the first Guardians, which is a PG-13 film.
He's also able to bring heart. The big thing about Superman is, okay, can I have a little rant?
You do the rant while I finally promote this on social media after being live for
an hour.
an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
You do the rant.
My rant is that the thing that connects you to Superman is his heart. The thing that separates Superman from a lot of other heroes is his beautifully open heart. Batman, cynical, but looks to Superman to be open-hearted. Flash, very funny, very optimistic, but falls on himself and judges himself, looks to Superman. Green Lantern, very, very, well, it depends which one, but like brash and impulsive. Superman is like an anchor for him. You need Superman to be the open heart of the DCU. You need to make humanity, and you may or may not have seen and may or may not have hated my Superman video here on this very channel. I'm saying that what Superman is the aspirational. That's why I think it is so. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat. It is so dumb when people are saying, "Yeah, but our world's dark and Superman should be dark because our world's dark." No, that's why Superman should be brighter, because Superman is the aspirational figure. Superman shouldn't reflect our world. We should try and fail to reflect Superman. Superman is above us. Superman is better than us, but doesn't think he is. He wants to be as human as possible because he loves humans. So that heart, that openness, that ability to see the best in things is often what James Gunn makes with his art. He's able to make these team of a-holes this endearing thing. He's able to make a tree and a talking raccoon more heartfelt and more available and more interesting than characters that are actually people you already love. If you actually look at the MCU, it is probably 80 leads at this point, 80 lead actors. Out of those 80 leads, 75 of them are real tangible people. Out of those, 40 of them are probably like A-list stars you have associations of positivity with. The reason celebrity works is because you connect with other performances of them and you connect to them as people and you want to understand that. That's why I prefer live action animation, because you have a connection every time they make something, every time there's an interview, every time you read something by them, you connect more and more to that soul, that person, and thus the characters they play. What James Gunn did was he made you connect with a tree and a raccoon as much as you connect to all of those actors, which shows his skill at connecting you to these characters, and that is what you need for Superman. That is what you need in a director writing and directing it, because his directing style also suits it. There's so much wonder, there's so much grace, there's so much beauty, there's so much broad interest, and there's no reason for a man who's capable of doing all of that in a shared universe to not launch a new shared universe with a character he clearly loves, and a man who went to the Shazam premiere the night before, not giving that as a soundbite to an exclusive for an interview, not doing any of those things that would be like the traditional studio thing, but going, hey, I'm going to release this as an Instagram post on my own term and make it about my connection via my father, make you understand that I'm doing this because of XYZ, not having taken it out of context, and controlling the narrative his way because he's that invested. So all of this bullshit about people thinking it's him doing it for himself and James Gunn only wants to make a James Gunn movie for James Gunn, or James only wants to hire his friends. If you look at any industry in the world, if you look at accountants or plumbers or any job, people hire people they know, and people hire people that they like working with. And in our industry, it's just on camera, so you notice it. It's written about, so you notice it. The article about Nepo babies is so absurd because so many people are fifth-generation electricians. It doesn't make sense to judge something until you've seen it, and I'm so sick of the discourse around this. It is going to be great, and we need this to have the heart it's going to have.
I'm sure that was a good rant.
I'm back.
Yeah, I haven't.
You wanted a social? I'm back.
Yeah, no, good. I was like, just gotta finish this before he's done.
And I'm spent.
That's me on the phone with Coy. What's the last thing you said? I'll just go off that.
Nepo babies, electricians, accountants.
No, I think Coy is one of the most compelling speakers I've ever encountered. I think he's a very talented, articulate, intellectual, genius, godlike speaker.
Also, there are like 3 people just said no, and those are the exact people that are irrelevant to the conversation and to life.
That was good, man. That was good. I love when you get a good peak rant.
Yeah, and it was positive.
I think I would like to get you and John Campia in the same room for some epic rant off.
Rant off.
Rant off.
We just like so Toby's dick.
Let's you keep leaving frame, Coy.
I ranted.
Let's see here. Oh, and then okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Gonna catch up a little bit more on some supas right now, and then we got to talk about the Snyderverse stuff.
Okay.
Trying to make sure we actually talk about what's in the title.
Hey, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We talked about Superman at long last, or I talked about Superman.
I just want to
Do
make
you have anything to say about Superman besides duh?
I think it's going to be great. Yep. Let's do it, man. Don't worry. It's going to be a time where it's just Coy doing these. I'm going to be off to the side.
Yeah, actually, if you guys like...
just typing to Coy, like, hurry this shit up, man.
You've been yelling at transphobes for 20 minutes.
Yeah, stop it.
You're not on the subject anymore.
God. Move on.
Trickle-down economics, we get, you hate it.
Sometimes you guys will see me typing, and sometimes that's, Coy, look at the camera.
I've been doing great.
We need to end this.
I have not looked at me like twice.
You've done a great job, man.
But I also want you guys, if you want more news-based stuff and then live stuff, so let us know in the chat. Because Coy's Comic Corner, there wasn't news for a bit, and I got your tweets, and I loved them, and I loved all the times you guys are like, we want more Coy's Comic Corner. But we didn't have a lot to like focus on, and then all this came out at once. So if you guys want more stuff like this, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, you guys got to understand, those Coy's Comic Corner videos take a long time to put. I'm not talking like 2 hours out of my day. It took a long time to put together, and then so that's why we try to make sure, like, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be fucking worth it.
Right. We're gonna have 80 stories. We're gonna get to 5 of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is fun.
I'm having a great time.
I think this is fun.
Saturday morning cartoons.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's a blasty blast. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna catch up here. Glenn Powell would be a good Superman.
He would, and Glenn would like give it his all. Like
I still champion for Finn Wolfhard, people.
Really?
No.
Oh, I believed you, and I was concerned.
Damn, I should have milked that.
You should have. I would have been like,
that would have been great. I would have totally fucking
gotten me.
Yeah.
I would have been really upset and confused. He's a good actor, but he's not a Superman. So I was like, wait a second, you're smarter than this.
Andrew hasn't seen Stranger Things, so I was on. He has no idea. So I just started fan casting with him for some like different roles in The Last of Us, and I just started naming off all the cast
members of Stranger Things.
And I said so serious, like I have to look them up.
That's so good. You know, from Stranger Things though, an actual good fan cast.
Who?
Joe Keery is Booster Gold.
Oh yeah, perfect. He's perfect.
Right?
Oh, cool. Let's move in a tad bit.
Okay.
All right. I think we left off here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about New Frontier yet. Yeah.
Hopefully. You know what's interesting though is like the most of the news has been like DC related.
It's so refreshing. I think Marvel's restructuring everything. Like I think Marvel is going, we have to put a hard pause. We got to figure out our jam, and like I think this Comic-Con is going to be the new wave of Marvel, like what they've restructured, as well as the start of the DCU announcement. So it's going to be like a Fantastic Four casting, X-Men casting versus all the DCU. Yeah. It's going to be like a Wizard magazine in '97. It's going to be crazy.
And I love when I was making the thumb, I could just go, oh, it has such a nice ring to it. MCU and DCU.
Yeah, it's way cleaner.
And the initials have different meanings other than the universe. But anyway, that guy, Gabe, thank you so much for the super chat. Hopefully the future Justice League movie is a take on New Frontier. My back's slightly hurting. So, Coy, why don't you just really quick tell us about New Frontier while I stand.
So New Frontier would be we mentioned briefly earlier, the animated series adapted Darwin Cook, and New Frontier it's like impossibly wholesome and Golden Age toned, but written much more recently. And it's basically a new take on the DC Universe Justice League without being like a New 52. So it's like kind of Elseworldy, but it's so wholesome and so organic. And I think that's what the Wonder Woman you liked is based off that, like that era. I haven't seen the Wonder Woman thing yet, but it's a good thing to adapt because it is clean and wholesome and beautiful, and like the art is stunning. And yeah, I love that idea. I'm into that. Clean
for children. Tutorial Slave, thank you so much. Superman under Gunn would work. Thank you for super chat. If his movie establishes the beacon of hope, the Authority features him as a foil to their cruel heroics, and Supergirl inserts him as a mentor figure plus Batman cameo. You see, I would love for him to do the Authority movie, like direct Authority. I am a tad concerned for James Gunn getting spread way too thin.
I'm more worried about that than his Superman.
Because I'm like, you are shepherding or overseeing a ton right now, and now you're going to direct the first movie, and that movie's going to matter more than anything. More than anything. it's going to matter the most, and it has to be the absolute best. It has to be great. It has to justify why we're not getting Henry Cavill. It has to justify everything. And I think
it also has to follow up the Reeves Superman. Like, I think that's the bar, and that's impossible. Like, everyone's talking about
whatever.
Like that. I think that's
It's a
huge.
crap movie.
I finally watched it. But I think that they
He's
need
perfect,
to,
isn't he?
like, oh, it's insane. Like, and
Boy did a reaction to it on this channel.
Like, it's insane how well it holds up without it being, like, dated because the character works so versatilely. But that's what they need to, that's the bar. Like, Gunn needs to make that timeless of a film. I think the only thing that works is he has prepped his 10-year plan. Like, they've released, 3, 4, 5 years, but he said that's only half.
Right.
So I think they've prepped so deep that he can now focus on this for 2 years while those things are cooking. Because he's just basically got to, like, hire directors that he trusts, writers that he trusts, him and Peter Safran oversee. So while he's directing, Safran can take on, like, a different level of responsibility, and they can, like, switch off.
It's funny. I saw James Gunn at the premiere, and then I saw Peter Safran, and I went, I don't care to look at you, Peter.
And then I walked away. Safran's an absolute, like, genius, man. Safran is who I thought was going to be the Kevin Feige.
I think Safran is going to be so instrumental in all this, and James Gunn's going to get all the credit.
That's what's tricky is he's the face of it. But I think Safran's okay with it.
No, yeah, I mean, that's part of being the business guy.
Safran's, like, got a memory like you wouldn't believe.
And you have to be the kind of leader that is willing to not take the credit. It is one of those weird things.
I also think James Gunn is receptive to listening to the fans, but has a path that he's already on, whereas Peter Safran is, like, actively asking the fans. Like, when I ran into him, like, in Burbank a while back, and he recognized me from an interview we had done, like, 2 years prior, and he immediately wanted to know what I thought of Peacemaker. And I thought that was a really interesting one for him to just, out of everything that was coming out, he wanted to know what I thought of Peacemaker, because that was his favorite, I found out while we were talking. But also, it's interesting that he was asking about the James Gunn thing that he was working on, and then it was, like, percolating towards them working together. So, like, what's working? What are fans liking? What's the experience of, like, how do you see it? How does this translate? Because he knows that they're on this side of a thing a year before. It's really hard to know how it's received except angry people on Twitter. So he wanted to hear the fans' experience without it being, like, from the suit side. And that's what you want in someone that's co-running something this big. And I don't think he's getting the credit, but he's, like, an incredibly finger-on-the-pulse kind of producer.
I'm so happy.
I'm just letting you know.
For you. I would love to meet Peter Safran.
You saw him, and you went, no.
I'm just joking. No. They were all, it was like they were walking the carpet. Deadshot. Thank you, Deadshot, for the super chat. Please, everyone, react to this Spider-Man tribute by Slifer2812 called Peter Parker really shows the lessons learned by each Spider-Man fits together. Friend Sally LaMonaco is putting together a Spider-Man fan film, and I'm going to have a little role in it, apparently.
Who are you playing? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Peter G. Parker.
With my beanie and everything.
Into it. Just rock it out.
Just showing up as sarcastic Greg. That's my interpretation. Just going to be myself. I'm going to bring something unique to the role.
Uniquely Greg Alba.
Did you hear? Maybe we could react to that. But I can convert this segue to another news thing.
Oh.
It seems like Amy Pascal has pretty much confirmed that there's going to be a live-action Miles Morales movie.
It is, I think, going to tie into these Spider-Verses.
That is a great theory. Yeah, of course it will.
No, as in, I think we're going to meet him in...
You think it'll be the same... You're saying you think we'll meet him. I'm like, of course it'll tie into the Spider-Verse.
Greg, there's going to be a Spider-Man that relates to a Spider-Man. Did you know that No, I think the
No way home already took care of that little theory.
Did you know that Spider-Man is going to be Spider-Man? No, I think that with the Spider-Verse, not in the second one, by the time we get to the third one, is going to multiversally open up into live action, and we'll meet Miles in a Spider-Verse film.
Do you think this Miles Morales, if you're just joining in to the Spider-Man, I could be a good Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Peter. When he's dying.
President Bartlett right there. I saw it. He does have kind of a sound about him. There's a nasaliness.
Do you think that... what was my question about? Miles Morales. Do you think Miles Morales will be a different Miles? The live action will be a different Miles?
I don't think it should make more. I think Shamik Moore is going to play him as a voice for a while. I think at
do you-
least 2 and 3.
But I'm not saying the actor. I'm saying you think the character will be the same Miles Morales, or will be a different Miles.
Or different
Morales?
Miles. I think
Yeah,
we're gonna.
okay.
I think the multiverse is gonna keep opening up. I think the reason they're gonna add so much stimuli to the second one is to be like, okay, there's this many worlds, this many worlds, this many worlds, and the next one's gonna go even further to the point where our brains get used to seeing all of the different types of animation. But then it's like, okay, I've seen photorealistic, I've seen the Leonardo da Vinci style, I've seen this animation style, and then there's gonna be another universe that opens up, and it's gonna be a live action. And I think it's going to be a young Miles because 14-year-old kid at that cast at that point. And I think that is going to launch into a live action universe. And I think Madam Web's going to tie into that. And I think one of the reasons all this stuff is getting shifted is they're realizing like Sony really cares about like the fans' experience of Spider-Man. I think they're going to make sure they have their own shared universe via using the literal web tapestry of Madam Web and these characters. So I think we're going to meet a new Miles live action in one of these Spider-Verses.
I gotta say, I am weirdly. I don't want to spend forever on this quote because we got to.
I love Spider-Man.
I know what could happen if I say a certain
Can of
thing,
worms.
and then bam,
Okay.
I got 4 monologues.
I've only done one. Here's another one.
I am genuinely in massive anticipation of Madam Web.
Same.
If it was to come out without me having seen a trailer. There's something about where, like, if it was coming out in, like, 2 weeks, there's an early script, like, yeah, I'd be, like, so jazzed. I don't know why I am so excited for Madam Web.
I think it's going to be really special.
Because I am so... Keep the live at no more than 2 hours. No. You know us.
What a weird thing to say. Us fans have lives outside of your channel. Then go live them.
Go live your life.
Like, you can leave anytime.
Well, there's time zones.
What a weird thing to, like, let's affect our lives because of your choices. Bye.
Like, this Madam Web movie just sounds so weird.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're committing to it, and it does seem very Spider-Man connected, but it's not about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I am very excited for I'm very, very excited for Madam Web. I hope it doesn't feel like the other Sony movies. Like, I feel like Kraven the Hunter is going to feel exactly like the other Sony movies.
I'm worried it's got
Venom and the Morbius. But Madam Web does. I have a. I'm not saying I have a feeling it's going to be good. I am very interested, though. I'll leave it at that. Very, very interesting.
I think No Way Home should have more people having more faith in Sony. Like, it's weird. I get that Marvel was involved, but
they had
I think
Morbius right after.
That is an issue. But I also think that Phase 4's best movie is a Sony movie.
Which I thought was fun.
I did too. Thanks for saying it. Now it's on record.
No,
I agree.
I thought it was.
Morbius is a fun
I
time.
thought it was all right. I didn't think it was that bad. I can see Greg's cloaking devices on. That's a funny comment. Sydney Sweeney's chest. She does have a. She does weightlift.
Who's she playing in the
I don't
Madam
know.
Web? Did they confirm it?
Not Jessica. I don't remember.
Jessica.
Just
a girl named Jessica.
Nah, shit.
Not Jessica Drew.
We could look at it. No, not Jessica Drew. Not Jessica. I don't think the name's Jessica.
I think I just don't know who.
Wait, we got a fucking live stream chat here. I don't need a Google.
We have the power of the
we
people.
have a 45-second delay here
Tell
on
us.
slow mode. Who is?
Because I think I just don't know who Sydney Sweeney is.
Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria.
I haven't seen Euphoria.
Oh my God, she's so ugly.
Oh, okay. I know your tone.
Massively.
Nancy
Drew. Yeah, okay. I was like,
she's gonna be a detective.
Not Nancy Drew. No,
Julia Carpenter.
Fucking, I heard the J and damn it. I was like Nancy Drew, Jessica Drew. No, not Jessica Drew. I had a whole thing.
Drew Carey, Jessica Alba. It's
zigzagging in my
crazy.
brain from letters. Yeah, that's what it was.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Julia Carpenter. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Keep this on track. Jordan Garza, Greg. You see, Morbius to me was the common man's experience, I think, of this movie was so panned. Like worse than Quantumania, worse than Black Adam, worse than Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That I don't say I went in with low expectations. I went in expecting an abysmal experience to the 10th degree, right? So when I watched it, I was like, it's not that bad. That's literally my opinion. It's not as bad as everyone said, but yeah, I mean, it's not great.
I feel like I walked into Blockbuster, saw a movie, took it home, went, hey.
Because that, and I think Rotten Tomatoes and shit, when people say don't listen to the critics, I'm like, no. It's because you take the time to look at that tomato score,
Yeah.
that oftentimes that weirdly can make your experience better.
You're also
So
interpreting it wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 to 5 pass fail, and then it's the number of
Yeah.
people that pass fail it. And people are
Yes.
like, those people think it's 62%. No, 62%
Yeah.
of however many people gave it a 3.
Yeah.
You can literally have a movie get a 3.1 or a 3.0 and change the entire way that movie's
Yeah.
run. Also, I've never once in my life not seen something because of a Rotten Tomato score. Like, I've never
Yeah,
been like,
it's never-
a critic said this was bad. I'm no
It's
longer
never
interested.
Personally,
It's a weird thing.
never.
Like,
Yeah, Morbius masterpiece. Let me correct that for you. Morbius equals masterpiece.
there
All
it
right.
is. There it is.
Jordan Garza, Greg, how was the concert, man? Thank you for the super chat. The concert was great. I saw Billy Joel,
Oh, what was that?
and it was amazing. Billy Joel, and wow.
It was amazing.
I told Coy before he showed up, I had one of those nights. I finished the thumbnail for this video at like 2 in the morning. I just didn't know how to. I was like, I don't know what to figure it out. And then I was like, I gotta get up super early so I can go work out. And I had, if you guys, whoever's seen Friends will know, and maybe you guys just relate to this out of experience. I had one of those nights where I was like, I gotta get up at 7. It's 2 o'clock. I try to get a nap. Try to just get some sleep in. And then I was like laying down, but I had all this like anxiety from not getting enough sleep. Then it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, fuck, it's 3. I'm only gonna get like 4 hours of sleep. And then it hit 4. And then it hit at 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh shit.
The worst feeling.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks. That's who it was. Thank you, Jordan.
Oh, I love that someone wrote, Greg, you saw
Yes.
Stevie Nicks.
Were you there, Jordan? Yeah, I loved I love watch. I mean, I love Fleetwood Mac. It was Stevie Nicks, and then but Billy Joel. I thought I didn't know Billy Joel's songs because it was Olivia's favorite. My wife, her favorite song of all time is Vienna by Billy Joel. I love that song too, and she loves Billy Joel. So I
don't think I know a lot of Billy Joel, but I think what you're about to say is
I thought
like
I
relevant.
didn't. And then I listened to the concert. I was like,
Bangers.
I did not realize 90% of the songs were like Billy. Like, I didn't realize. I do know this. I didn't know that was Billy Joel. That was so much of my experience of. I didn't realize this was a Billy Joel song. I didn't realize this is a Billy Joel song. And he's really funny. His humor's kind of like Mike from.
Wazowski?
No. Yeah. Billy Crystal. No, his humor is kind of like Mike from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I like
Jonathan
that.
Banks,
Very,
yeah.
very droll and
Anyway,
angry.
I am now doing the thing that I am always telling you and John not to do, which
I'm
is like
just listening.
hurry the fuck up, guys.
I'm just
All right.
vibing on Billy Joel.
Alex C, thank you for super chat. PSA: the term Easter egg comes from Rocky Horror. Is that a fact?
Yep. That's
Really?
true. Yeah, it is. It is from Rocky Horror. The idea of planting
Really?
references as Easter eggs. Yeah.
No way. That is awesome to know.
Fun fact: I did 4 years of the LA production of Rocky Horror out here in LA. My friend Maggie directed me in Rocky Horror. I was the narrator in the Rocky Horror production of LA.
Really?
Yeah. There's
Awesome.
pictures of me in gold lame shorts for all those thirsty folks in the chat.
I want to watch 5 Year. Were you in 5 Year Engagement? No, not 5 Year Engagement. What was the one you were in with Chris?
Bride Wars?
Bride
I
Wars.
played with Chris Pratt's little
haven't seen
brother.
Bride- I have a weird thing where like if I'm working so late at night and I'm like I want to eat something and watch some TV or if I don't want to watch a show, like I put on some like throwaway movie.
Yeah.
But then I end up like I love
Being riveted.
I love a lot of these throwaway.
I'm
movies.
such a rom-com dude.
I watched The Watch from Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is fun.
Having a good time.
Watched Couples Retreat. And I haven't seen Bride. Like,
So Bride Wars?
That's the kind of movie I put. Not one that I feel like I have to like fucking
It's,
like.
it's Anne Hathaway and Kate
pay so
Hudson,
much attention.
and I'm Chris Pratt's little bro. But what's funny is the movie they cut like it was like a 2-hour movie. They cut it down to like 90 after a couple screenings. But in the movie, like I'm his best man at the wedding, and there's this shot where it like slowly pushes on me, and it's like da, 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 and then it's my face, but then they cut the scene right after it, so it's like. When you watch the movie now, out of context, it's like, da, 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 and this guy. But it never explains why this guy's important, but it's me. So it's my favorite footage of like, and for some reason, Coy's here. And it's like not a plot point because they cut the plot point. But yeah, I love doing that movie with Chris.
I just said I put it in the chat.
I didn't have to carry a cross up and down a hill to be in that film. Let the record show my Easter was not cross carry.
Lucy BX. I'm gonna get this on track. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Lucky BX. Can the MCU redeem the Hulk? If so, how? I think do that World War Hulk movie.
Yeah, I mean, if they do the thing that they're talking about with Hulu, they'll have the rights back to Namor and Hulk, and then you can.
What are you talking about?
Right now, Disney owns 2/3 of Hulu, and Universal owns 1/3 of Hulu, as far as like the broad macro stroke. So there's a rumor right now
God
that
damn. I didn't know that.
oh, you didn't know this?
Yeah.
So right now, there's a rumor that Disney Plus is going to allow more R-rated stuff on its platform. So Disney might sell Hulu to Universal entirely in exchange for money, as well as the rights, the full rights to Hulk and to Namor, because right now they can't make a Namor movie, they can't make a Hulk movie. That's why they have to use those characters in team things. So there's a idea that in order to make Disney Plus whole and not share stuff with Hulu, they might relinquish Hulu in exchange for those characters, and that would allow for a full film here. And with Deadpool 3 being R-rated and with certain things going that way, it would make sense to have like Alien and Predator and all those Fox properties live on Disney Plus, and that would actually mean we do start to get more R-rated content, because at this point we're approaching 15 years in the MCU. The lack of adult content is a little silly, and I think we're seeing that, and with the Hulu thing, this would allow for that as well as these characters.
Mm-hmm. I concur. I would be amazing. And then they should bring Edward Norton back.
Yeah, multiverse. I'd actually love that as a multiverse.
Jordan Garza's asking, y'all think they'll ever do the white eyes for the bat?
I think that the way Pattinson portrayed him did that greatly. He did that like really extreme looks.
I think as cool as it is, you know, stand for a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, stand for a sec. Get that crotch shot in here.
Hey.
What am I trying to say? All right. So there is that.
Who am I?
As awesome as it is, I don't know. Well, maybe just I had a whole series of thoughts go on right now, because I was about to say. I'll tell you how my thought process went. As awesome as it is visually to see the white eyes on Batman, for those tuning in, Coy is just right there. So he's just taking a standing break. He does have the white eyes would be a great visual look. I thought it was well justified in BVS for that suit. However, because his face is covered, so much expression, there's so much emotion and communication in just the depth of someone's eyes.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson can bring that. Ryan Gosling is exceptional at that. That's what he's kind of known for. And then my mind went to, but they've done a pretty great job on The Mandalorian where the guy doesn't show his face at all. And I am very emotionally invested in this character.
Do you know the guy in the suit when it's not Pedro Pascal is Gary Wayne?
Who the fuck is Gary
John
Wayne?
Wayne's grandson is the body of... That's why he looks like a Western star. Like he moves like a Western because he's John Wayne's grandson. Found that out 2 days ago from Christian. He had him on the show.
You think it would be cool, but it's... I thought it was Brendan Wayne.
Maybe it's Brendan, but it's a Wayne. How cool is that, though?
I saw on Christian's thing that it said star of Mandalorian, and then I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Brandon.
What was he in the background or something, Christian?
He's got 2 lines. No, but apparently he's like Wayne's grandson, so that's why he's got that swag. The John Wayne swag.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
And Dredd made it work. He still got the mouth, yeah, there's a way to make it work.
He had the grumpy cat face.
But I think Dredd does make it work, but Dredd also did not reach the masses or do well in the regard of what you need for Batman. But I would like to see them pull it off. I think like BVS justified its existence, whereas in you could justify its existence by going like, I need to hide my eye color, but he could just wear his contacts.
Yeah, I also think that the beauty of what Pattinson did is that his eye acting was able to convey so much because of just the skill of Pattinson. So what I mean by like when he did the white eye thing is he's always, if you watch that movie again and focus on his eyes, not only is it the emotion, but he's always looking so extremely far right and left in moments that the whites of his eyes are the main thing you see.
He's political.
He's
far right.
So far right, so far left. He does not believe in the middle. But you can use that power to emote, and
Batman's
I think he did a great
liberal.
job. Bruce Wayne's a hardcore Republican.
Yeah.
He wants to keep his money, but he wants to help others. Batman is a man of both sides. I will not donate. I will not put my money to the people, but I will fight vengefully. But I don't like guns. I love this libertarian man. He's like, I don't do political parties.
He literally is a Republican and a Democrat.
Bruce Wayne, aggressive right-winger.
Yeah.
Batman, aggressively left-wing.
That's so funny.
Oh, man. Those billionaire Playboy vigilantes.
and yet the movies are never a commentary on that.
Not really. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, the closest they have is like the Foundation being used like criminally,
Yeah.
but even that's both siding it because Batman
but
does
but it's not about like, oh, it's a commentary on Republicans and Democrats. It's not.
There's
that.
no greed or,
If
like,
you break it down, he really is
aggressively two directions. So it's like the mask of Batman is like the far one or the other. That's great.
Jordan Garza. I love that.
I just like we had this epiphany 30 years into our lives.
I love that epiphany. That makes me so happy. Jordan Garza. Okay, you can only choose one. Thank you for the super chat. That's what I choose. A King and Garrett's take on Moon Knight.
Tom King, Mitch Stratz.
Thank you. Or maybe Spidey or an Arab and Rivik take on Soups.
Jason Aaron and Asad Beast.
Or maybe Martian Manhunter.
I'm going to go Jordan Garza with a Tom King, Mitch Gerard's take on Moon Knight because I think what they did not only with Batman, the Tom King did Batman, but what I think of Batman is very Moon Knight-esque when they write Moon Knight correctly, and I think that what King and Gerard's did on Mr. Miracle specifically was, you read that, right?
Is that the one that I don't know artist
Mr.
names.
Miracle, the Tom King, the scot-free, basically suicidal, he's got a kid with Big Barda, he's like,
yes.
that one.
Yes.
That's this team. They did a really good job humanizing Mr. Miracle, a very hard character to humanize, and I think you need that from Moon Knight. So if you add that, different associative identities to those already strong character sets, they'd bring new layers to Moon Knight. Whereas I love Jason Aaron and Asad Rabis. They do really good scope and big, which would be good for Superman, but I want a more psychological study. Yes.
First, Nikki.
The Dark Right.
The Dark Right.
Oh, that's so
I
good.
love that.
The Dark Right.
I had to interrupt.
I want that so badly now. Just like an aggressively right-wing Batman and liberal Batman. and
Someone
aggressively
tweet James
right-wing
Gunn.
Make it happen.
He'll definitely make DC so much more popular.
I really think the schism in DC needs to be deepened.
They just need to be really politically
Let's
heavy-handed
just
now.
really dive
That's
into
the way
it.
you get everyone on board.
You bring people together by separating them. We've
That's
got
true.
Snyder versus DC. Now we add right and left.
Martian, man, I don't want to make a whole thing out of it because I can't have a concrete opinion about this. I've never read like a solo Martian Manhunter comic. Martian Manhunter's never interested me in the sense of doing like a standalone Martian Manhunter. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's the kind of character who's only been interesting to me, or like I want to check out in terms of being in an ensemble with other characters I'm aware of. But I would be curious to see. I feel like that's the thing about James Gunn. He's good at pulling off the weird.
Yeah.
And making
he can make me love him.
He can make it attainable, so that would be neat. Dakota Jones, thank you so much, Dakota Jones. The tone for Soups, I have a feeling, will be emotional. Who should he fight? That's a fun thing that we haven't really ever explored.
The villain.
I'd say Bizarro would be cool. Mainly I want Brainiac, but too soon. I know.
I don't feel like it's too soon for Brainiac. I think that, okay, so my Brainiac would basically be the AI of today being an issue and like extrapolating on that. Because, well, think about it. Like, the best stories are the duality of the character and the person, right? So, like, Lex Luthor, I think, should be a long Emperor Palpatine slow burn. It shouldn't be just V Lex Luthor this time. So, Lex Luthor's introduced, but he's not the main villain. Because what Lex Luthor is he doesn't like that Superman's an alien because he's a human that's like, we don't like outsiders. So, that's an obvious, and that's been the issue, is you don't utilize that well, I don't think, in the new movies. But I think that the Martian Manhunter idea is that we are, as a society, as a culture, we are choosing AI, which is foolish. We've been warned about AI in every movie.
We are a society.
But aren't we? Like, we societally are accepting
Just
AI.
doing the Joker thing.
The filmed in Zack Snyder's backyard, which blows my mind. But so we as a society have accepted AI. We've had every warning. We've read books. We've watched movies. Everything since sci-fi began was like, don't do this thing. And not only are we accepting AI in like day-to-day tasks, we're actually now utilizing it for no good reason to do art. We're literally taking away the one thing that humans bring to the table is art is us externalizing our souls. And we're literally letting AI take over the one thing that makes us unique, our uniqueness of soul, our experience of study, our experience of beauty, our experience of wonder. We're letting AI do that, and we're robbing actual artists to cheapen the experience of life. We're not paying artists, instead we're letting AI be the thing that externalizes our souls as humans. what's more Brainiac than that? Brainiac is something that goes like, hey, the core of humanity is this thing that I can use an algorithm to outsmart. Brainiac is like, we don't need these people. We can just do ones and zeros. So Superman representing humanity, Brainiac representing the opposite of humanity is the perfect time to tell that story because that's what Terminator should have done 4 movies ago. Terminator should have looked at AI being something that humanity chose and activate Skynet that way. Let Brainiac be the thing that Terminator could have been in that we are choosing our own self-destruction, and Superman sees beyond our self-destruction and believes in us beyond the ability to make our own decisions because at the end of the day, we are always good, even if something's coming at us that we're our own creation. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, sounds good, yeah.
Brainiac.
I think that is a good pitch. I think thematically good. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, with everything you said, I feel like that would be a perfect second movie or third movie.
I think it's too soon to introduce, like...
Because that is such a massive concept.
Sure.
And I think this one needs
Give
to
it
be
to you
the
in 30
most.
seconds.
This one needs. Sure. You spent 30 a minute, and you spent 30 of those seconds explaining AI problems before you got to fucking Brainiac. I think it's such a massive concept. I think it's a great idea. I think everything you said perfect. I think the first movie though has to be the most personal and intimate. And there's got to be a way, like to say, like I don't want to say grounded Superman story, but something that will feel the most personal for Superman.
Shut up, Benji.
Doesn't fly, Superman.
Superman grounded.
So
they get rid
grounded.
of Legacy. They call it Superman grounded.
Yeah,
just walking around.
He's just Clark Kent.
You'll believe a man can walk.
And so I would prefer a villain, and then also I think to really set the stage as well, it would be cool to pull a less known villain that. Because here's my dichotomy with Superman. It makes the most sense to pair him up with a villain that can give you world-ending stakes because he's fucking Superman.
You need him.
Yeah.
To be that big.
You need Superman. That's what I mean. So I'm like, yeah, there's certainly an argument. I think you should do that. It would be perfect.
Keep that for later.
But like Brainiac's also the kind of villain that could warrant getting, fucking Justice League involved.
Sure.
He's just that big of a villain. So I don't know enough low key Superman villains.
Yeah.
That would be the great Superman. I haven't seen season
Lobo.
of Superman Lois, but Superman Lois had a great first. Anyway,
Lobo is it's a weird choice, but if Jason Momoa is playing Lobo, that'd be fun because he's more the chaotic to his wholesome. So that there's still a dichotomy there, but it's not as rich. So you could tell a more focused on Superman story and have the villain just be chaos to his focus.
Yeah,
like a Deadpool-esque.
I got challenges. 90 seconds. All right.
Okay.
All right.
He's brought up the clock.
We got to get this on track. What time is it? Yeah. I got a birthday. You got stuff to go to, and I got a baby shower to go to. Jordan Garza, thank you. 0 to 100% chance we get the John Williams theme back. Coy, what do you think?
40% chance. I think them using it in Black Adam might have hindered its hope of going forward, but also it is iconic. But I also think they want to establish a new Superman, so the idea of using something from the past might not suit a new take.
I like hearing it because I go, nostalgia me. Yeah. Woo, I know that.
Familiar.
I know
Familiar.
it.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
I got that reference.
It plays on my childhood. I don't even care about the context.
I mean, that's what they did in Black Adam.
That's how it works. This John Williams score is not the Henry Cavill one.
It's confusing because he looks like one thing but sounds like another.
Kind of Superman.
Yeah, we were so close to a good Henry Cavill. So
but
close.
It still worked on me. I'm not mocking you guys. I'm saying it worked on me.
You got it. You felt it.
I was there like, cool. Yeah.
It's literally one of my favorite post-credit scenes of all time.
Monkey banging cymbals gif.
Dude, it got me 100%. There's that clip of me telling The Rock how emotionally riveted I was. I wasn't kidding. It got me, and yet I still know it was wrong.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Actually.
Exclamation point, I respect it.
Love it. Shazam. Thank you for the super chat. Boy. Can you state your case for a rolling reboot? It doesn't sound promising to me. In Gunn, we trust, but there's just too much narrative baggage. Quickly explain what a rolling reboot is, and then explain your case. You got So a minute and 10 seconds.
A rolling reboot is the idea of using the characters you've already established and establishing new ones at the same time. So a rolling reboot would allow you to build on the universe you've already established, but taking stuff out and putting stuff in simultaneously. So as the thing moves along, you put in new pieces and export old pieces you don't want to use anymore. So basically what this would be is, in this case, the universe taking the characters that aren't going to be rebooted in a way that serves the new narrative and keeping the ones that will fit the format. So the idea would be that if you keep Shazam, you put him into another team. If you keep certain characters, they use them as those characters, but you do have characters that are on stage, like, we've got a new Superman next to Wonder Woman we've already established. That would be a rolling reboot. I think that there is plenty of baggage to that, but I also think there is an accountability of convenience. You have not only characters that are already established to the audience, but you can sell a movie on this made this much, I'm attached to this character as this thing, we can go forward here. And the multiverse, which is the thing they're doing with this universe, allows for you to, over time, all new characters, because you could have them be imported from other universes. So it works for me because I love Shazam and I love certain elements of the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman enough that I'd love the challenge of making it work more than I'd love the clean slate. Originally, I wanted a clean slate, fresh reboot. I said that up until I enjoyed Shazam as much as I did and saw the potential of allowing for my cake and eat it too, but it's going to be a lot more difficult on the audience and a lot more difficult on the filmmakers, but I think they should trust the audience.
Perfect, Coy, you did it.
Then in 10 seconds.
That is efficient. You packed it in. Imagine if I made you do that all the time, which I will. Well, I mean, I don't think we need a case for rolling reboot. James Gunn's already said that some of this will. He said some of it will continue.
It's
Did
happening.
he say that in the announcement?
That's real time.
And some of it will continue on. Bryce Burrows, thank you for Super Chat. As a casual DC fan and a diehard Marvel fan, I'm most excited for Invincible seasons because that captivated me more than anything MCU DC. I've been thinking, I have a question for you, Coy.
Okay.
I've been thinking, how accurate is the Invincible series to the comics? Have you read the Invincible comics?
Yeah.
How accurate is it? Because I don't want it to ruin my experience with season 2. Because I'm pretty sure I could finish up to a point wherever it is in season 1.
So that's what's interesting is it's not 1-to-1. So there are things that happen in season 1 that don't happen until way later in the volumes.
Yeah.
So it's not something where it's like they're telling the story linearly. It's things that are happening now are like volume 4. That are already up to. So volume 2 is probably going to go back and do some of the volume 1 stuff in the comic books. So season 2 will dabble in the past and the future because season 1 already has. So it's not going to be linear. It might throw you off because you'll recognize stuff, but at no point will you go like, I know what's going to happen next.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. I mean, because I had no idea about any of it.
And that's a blast.
I didn't know any of it. Like when Omni-Man like murders everyone in the beginning, I'm like, what the shit?
You will lose those moments.
Yeah,
because like you're reading it,
and I'm like, well, we are a reaction channel for the most part.
So I read it when it was coming out, and I was like, they're doing this and this, and like that was cool. But what I like about the show is they're throwing you off because they know that people like me want to be like, whoa.
Yeah, it was really compelling, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to. That's partly why I haven't read The Boys.
Fair. And The Boys is a lot different. The Boys is more different than you'd think because The Boys is a commentary on comics, whereas the show is a commentary on our world.
Our
satire.
Our world and political
like
stuff.
it's about Amazon, whereas the comics are about comics.
Got it.
So the references are very different. Also, the comics came out in a time where do you remember the mid-2000s where everything was like sex comedies and dick jokes and like everything was like, oh, are you laughing or do you feel like you're being taken advantage? Like everything felt edgy for the sake of edgy. A lot of the comics are like, bet you're uncomfortable. Whereas The Boys is like, we're going to make you uncomfortable by being a commentary. Like it leans back and lets you flail. Whereas the comics are like, whoa, I like the comics, but it's a different kind of FU.
I hear that a lot. I hear that kind of tone
about
a lot.
I still like them, but I also read them in late high school. So it's very different for like what I am today.
True. Saints, thank you, Saint. I want to be excited for the new DC slate, but honestly, I just don't feel the hype. Well, I feel the hype for the fact that you super chat. Thank you. It feels like they're putting a little Band-Aid over a Hoover Dam crack. We just got to wait and see. I think it's weird to start off. I think what's a little strange, I feel like it's cool for comic book fans. Hold on. Make sure we're on track. I think it's cool for comic. This is when you get a chat moderator. I mean, someone on the side do that. You know,
but you're here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little strange that he is kicking it off with. It's strange. It can be good and bad, I would say. We start. What are they not the Howling Commandos? What the hell they call Creature Commandos?
Yeah.
All right, he started off with the Creature Commandos because one part of me is like, will people really be enthused or want to check out the animated side first? Is that the way you want to start your big chapter 1? I don't think people will give a shit. And the other part of me goes, however, if you started it off after live action, people really probably wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. And
So-
you have more time to develop an animated show.
But if you're starting it off as this is the start, this is the beginning of it all, then that gets more people interested in the animated side, and then that would intrigue people to watch more of the animated stuff. And then when you do more animated properties, people are more interested. So in some ways, I'm like, this could be great or bad. Bottom line, it's a bit of a risk, and I love that.
Same. It's all bolder than we've seen in this pop culture space in a while. Like the pop culture space has been playing it very safe, and so that's why I kind of like the rolling reboot because
that's why a lot of people feel like stuff is mid.
Right.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like when you look at movies, I think the reason Shazam made me so happy is because it wasn't trying to be a lot of things, but the joy was so contagious. And maybe if things hadn't been so not trying to be a lot of things lately, it wouldn't have been as special. But everything's kind of neutral right now, which isn't great. But the joy was bigger than the neutrality this time for me.
True. I'm happy for you, Coy. I thought it was okay.
I wanted to smile for 2 hours, and I did, and I haven't said that about a lot in the last few movies.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you, Coy. You know, Coy, you're an all right guy, Coy. I'm just checking over here. I know we got more, but we just haven't talked about it. It's in the title, and I'm like,
oh, what do we got?
We haven't talked about this one thing that's been in the title forever. I'm checking to see if someone mentioned it in our Streamlabs. They did not. All right. We're going to pick up with the Streamlabs first. I saw a couple people mention in the live chat. We got to talk about this. What the fuck is Zack Snyder talking about, Coy?
Oh, man. That
Scooch over here.
Oh, we're back.
Got to bring it up.
The chairs are hard. Okay. Zack Snyder teased a message from Darkseid one day, and then the next day showed some release dates with a picture of Henry Cavill. When it was just the Darkseid thing, I legit thought it was going to be like Ray Porter's in Rebel Moon. Like
that's what I thought it was too.
I was like, is he using DC to make a Rebel Moon ad? But then the next day it was Henry Cavill with some dates. I think he's finally getting a theatrical release of the Snyder Cut. I think it's going to be Man of Steel, BVS, Snyder Cut in theaters for 3 days only. But I think he's definitely capitalizing on all the DCU stuff to make it seem like it's more than that.
I mean, that's the way he gets the fan. He's got the loyalty from the fan base, not from anything. His main loyalty comes from the DC side,
right?
And so he's well aware of that, and he's smart. Same way Ben Affleck, in his own way, but the way Ben Affleck uses to promote the movies directed air to get attention by talking about DC.
Right.
He's smart, and I think that's what Zack Snyder is doing as well. Like, you got to use kind of whatever's at your disposal.
He's definitely a shareholder in Vero, too, because that man is the only man on Vero. And it's always like, it's always like Zack Snyder announced on Vero. I'm like, Vero's still alive? You own Vero, Zack Snyder. You can tell us.
I think, though, like, the way the hype, I'm not sure. It would be crazy if it was like, I just don't believe it's going to be some type of Snyderverse announcement.
I just don't know how it would fit in time-wise for WB to do it. I don't think it's that Netflix bought the rights thing because I don't know if WB would want. So they just outsourced the Batman.
And
so there's a tiny chance.
James Gunn has also, though, very much shut down that it would be that's ridiculous.
The only thing I can think is Peter Safran, with outsourcing the Batman Brubaker to Amazon, was like, we can make money off of doing this Snyderverse over at Netflix. But that's still 0.5% chance. Like, there's no way that's happening.
Because then you also because you have the issue too of, well, you got some of the same characters though.
That are going to be, unless
unless they completely get rid of Ezra Miller and stuff. You know what
with
I mean?
the rolling reboot, I don't know how true that is now that Shazam's done so poorly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I honestly think if the Snyder fans wanted to keep the Snyderverse alive in any iteration, they needed to go see Shazam, and they didn't.
Well, Aisha Kenya is saying, I'm sorry, I've been here before, and I know I've pronounced her name wrong, and I'm so sorry.
It's a cool name, Aisha.
Aisha?
It looks like Aisha. Could be wrong.
Why do I add so many more syllables?
Aisha, right?
Aisha. I think he's showing the storyboards to the Justice League sequel. He's got them all drawn already, so maybe. I thought it got animated. Oh, that'd be cool if it got animated. I mean, there's this channel that did this really cool, like, it's not a motion comic, but they did kind of like a motion comic in a way. For a good amount. A lot of it's just narration, but there's a good amount where they brought the Snyder Cut, part 2 and 3 to life. And it's really cool that these fans came together and did it. It's really impressive, especially for just like, we're just doing this. I do. Yeah, we're probably gonna react to Rebel Moon.
I'm really excited for Rebel Moon. That's like one of my top 20 of the year, and it's a big year.
Aisha.
Oh, it's Aisha. I have a friend named Aisha.
Oh, so I was close.
You were closer.
Yeah.
I have a friend named, like a close friend named Aisha, but it's Ayeesah. So I always thought of Aisha as longer, so I assumed that was wrong. But
Oh,
it's another
okay.
spelling of Aisha. That's a cool name.
True. And Shazam. So yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if whatever he's doing is, it's the kind. What I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I'm nervous because it seems like his hardcore fans are going to be happy regardless of whatever the hell it is. It just seems like when you put out something like that,
If it's not huge.
it sounds like it's going to be bigger than what it actually is. You know
I'm
what I
very
mean?
worried.
Like, oh, he's just gonna, because like storyboards are cool and shit to show. At the same time, it is like, I mean, the way you hype this up
With two separate posts.
with the anticipation. Yeah.
Like that's really tricky. Like,
Yeah.
and so I think it's dangerous if it's not huge, but it's also the only way to maybe get the amount of hype he needs to make it profitable, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky spot he's in. But I just can't imagine there being any more things filmed.
I don't think it's a Snyder. I don't think it's a continuation of it.
Yeah, I honestly don't see how it could be with budgetary restraints, scheduling conflicts, everything that would go into that.
It's him doing a panel with James Gunn going, I'm moving on. Yeah.
It's him and James Gunn meeting for 3 days and deciding that Rebel Moon 2 is going forward.
Because Zack Snyder is a very talented guy, and he has this world, this universe that I've seen the concept art for it, and
the cast is so good.
and he loves to build worlds.
I would rather
like
see
with,
him play his own IP personally.
like with Rebel, like he did Army of Darkness, and despite whatever opinion that you might have on the movie, I enjoyed Army of Darkness. I really did. He loves to build worlds. He's a really big world building guy, and something like Rebel Moon, he gets to really lean into the visual medium of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where his heart's at right now.
I also think that he shouldn't have to play in someone else's sandbox that's controlling him.
Yeah.
I would rather him get to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Because their fans will show up for his stuff. Let him play.
He would make a cool Eternal sequel. You're right.
He would.
That. Yeah, actually,
That'd be rad.
He definitely would. Play with that eye pie.
Sometimes you gotta.
Did I say Army of Darkness? Army of the Dead.
You did, but I figured they knew.
Army of the Dead. Yeah. I appreciate that. I think you just got to give him a good script. And it is ironic that Zack Snyder directed a movie that James Gunn wrote. That is
a very interesting. Like
it's a very like
crazy
that's a
little
fun
pockets,
fact.
like
Yeah.
the pockets of the internet. That is all of that is absolutely insane.
Thank you, JP, for reminding. Yes, please leave a like and subscribe. I do want to check up here. Oh yeah, I just want to put away us.
Bye.
And
Just the chat.
And the koi. Let's make kissy noises.
Ooh, mwah, 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 mwah.
And then
Ooh.
classic 90s, we fall off the bed. Oh, I injured myself. Koi, that's a couch. Ha ha. That's not where it goes.
It is a mid-2000s comedy.
Never know what's going to happen. You're going to get this on the John Campea
Oh,
show?
crazy hijinks.
You're going to get this at New Rockstar's Break Room? I don't think so.
Break Room After Dark.
Where
Thing
the fuck is the thingy?
someone said something that definitely freaks me out is that they are playing Flash at CinemaCon, and therefore we will have that entirely ruined for us next month.
I can't wait.
I want to see that so bad, and we're about to know all of it.
Damn, should I go to CinemaCon?
I may or may not have submitted us for press stuff, so I'm trying.
Do they release? They don't really release trailers.
They're releasing the whole movie, dude.
So I know, but I'm saying Sony usually releases trailers. That's why I usually skip the cons because I'm like, big trailer
Gotta
day,
react.
big trailer day, and you know what? That's the heart and soul of this channel, and that comes first. So I often skip that shit. Really back and forth on John Wick.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
I got invited to one where Keanu Reeves is going to be there.
Not the premiere, just a screening?
Yeah, Q&A.
Oh, dude, bring me. I gotta say, I'm a berserker, bro.
I don't.
It's 3
actually,
hours.
wait a minute. I might be able. Let's talk about this.
Okay. Tom Cruise loved it. Also,
oh, really cool. Hold on, we gotta keep this up. What
Okay,
are you gonna say?
I was just gonna respond to someone asking about the CinemaCon thing, and I was gonna say they're playing the whole movie. That's all. Back to business.
Loxley. Okay.
Same people.
Wait. Don't read in case. No, you're fine. Okay. All right, I was trying to protect you.
I appreciate it.
Loxley, thank you for the Streamlab. The Last of Us show, I coined the term expansive adaptation. Yes, good. Neil Druckmann adapts the story from part 1 and 2. I really think you like that game, Goy.
I've played some of it. I played like 2 hours. I loved it.
And expands where he can.
Boston.
I would highly suggest you play the second game, or it's going to be impossible to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
I 1,000% guarantee you.
Okay.
Where you can to flesh out details. We would find notes and audio tapes in the game. What other show, movie, games deserve the term treatment? What other deserve?
What else deserves expansive
term or
adaptation?
deserves expansive treatment?
Just call it that.
Yeah. What other video game? I mean, since we're on the comic book movie news subject, I feel like Injustice.
Ooh, I like that.
That started off as a game first, right? Before
Game, and then Tom Taylor made it a comic, and then it's a huge world in comics. Like for years, he wrote.
I think that
back in the comics
would be a great ass show. It would be expensive as shit.
It would.
As a matter of fact, Brainiac, I think is I believe is the villain in the second game. Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Superman's the
'Cause
first
the
one,
character design's
and
cool.
then Brainiac's the second one. Yeah.
I've
I've played both of them.
I'm going to go with X-Men because you could do different shows for each team of X-Men, 1X, X Factor, Generation X, like all those things. So you just expand out the mutants. I think it'd be really cool to like live in the world of X-Men.
That would be cool. I'd want to do an X-Men show, but from the humans' perspective.
That'd be a great
The
alternate show.
the racist humans.
Just
per se.
racist.
Yeah.
Just, I think Benioff and Weiss tried to make that show.
And then I want them to be a redeemed racist by the end of the show.
Ah,
Yeah.
very bold.
I feel like that'd be great.
A lot of 2016
Maybe get like a
voters.
Sam Rockwell or a Woody Harrelson there. You know?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Like a charismatic racist. They're not the actors that the roles they tend to play.
We don't know.
That's fair.
We don't know.
They seem lovely.
Spy Jams, thank you for this. for this? Thank you for this.
Craig's hitting that wall of madness. Hey, thank you for this.
I don't know if y'all ever talked about this. Well, let's find out. But I'd love to hear y'all take or make this a video. Well, maybe it's going to be part of a video now. On how y'all would build the cinematic universe surrounding Spider-Man and what you all endgame would be for that universe. Oh, cool. I feel like you could sum that up in 90 seconds tops.
Spider-Man. I would launch where you have right now in the universe where Tom Holland is finally Spider-Man. It took 6 movies. I love his origin that we finally got to, but it took a long time to get him to Spider-Man. So you have a depowered, not in an iron suit Spider-Man, depowered only as in not in the MCU level of power set, an actual Spider-Man power set where he uses spider powers, not iron spider suits. So he's in a regular costume doing regular things. He's going to college. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's very isolated. He's finally the Spider-Man of great power and great responsibility. He's learned that lesson, and he's on his own. He's very isolated. He's very character familiar with loss. You introduce that character. You do that for a trilogy. You let the man be the college Spider-Man that has lived in the comic books for so very long. But in that same time, you're building out the Madam Web, the Across the Spider-Verse. You're incorporating Miles Morales. You bring in Miles Morales. So over the long game, you have multiple Spider-Man, and you do include even like a Ben Reilly. You have that be like a 90s universe where you get to have the playfulness of more broad villainy, and you have Tom Holland face a lot of the low-level crime like Hammerhead, Tombstone. You got your street-level criminals. So you got street-level Spider-Man juxtaposing a cosmic Spider-Man, juxtaposing a 90s Spider-Man, and all of the animated stuff. All of this building to one big crescendo, and then you have a fully 90s animated series across the Spider-Verse between live-action Spider-Man as well as incorporating some animated stuff. If you so choose, those movies can stay separate or you can bring them back together. But you've literally got 5 or 6 Spider-Men all doing their own thing, including like May Parker and Spider-Gwen and all these elements. And then the big end game is that you end it Ultimate Spider-Man style, and Tom Holland as Spider-Man dies at the hand of a new Green Goblin, a new Ultimate Villain they've built up to over 3 to 5 movies. And then Miles Morales takes the mantle. Endgame ends with Peter Parker dying, and our Sony/Marvel Universe Spider-Man becomes Miles officially by way of a giant event.
Boom. 1 and 39 seconds.
5 years of storytelling in 1:40. Not bad.
Damn.
That's what I'd do. I think it'd be dope.
Damn, that was great.
I think it'd be like really
that was
cool.
impressive.
That's literally what I'd do if
That
I
was
was spearheading Sony.
That's impressive. I love that idea.
And you have spin-off villain movies so you can build to a Sinister Six that is the Green Goblin's central piece that he gets to take out Parker, but you also allow villains to get their own movie. I'd do like a Ocean's 11 heist film, like Soderbergh style, but the villains, so you feel for the villains. That way when Spider-Man's fighting them, like each punch lands twice.
Yeah, that Coy, you genius. You really should be pitching for something.
I really should. But where?
Well, if my writing career ever goes anywhere,
Get me in those
I
rooms.
would want to go. Yeah, because once you're a screenwriter, you just get in every room.
They just open doors.
Just go. Yeah,
They
come
just
in,
go,
we
"Hey,
love you.
you write-
You're top of the list,
Sir, you wrote a thing, and we like thing rights.
I would want to try to get into one of my big goals would be to get into the Elseworld side of the DC.
Yeah, same. I really think that James Gunn and I see comics very similarly, and I want to like be a part of that.
That would be a massive like this is the step that
That'd be incredible.
The big IP step that I could watch them ruin my masterpiece screen.
I had this idea, and here we are.
Look at them, dude. Look at them butchering.
But
this.
by then, there'll be a few Superman movies to judge where we're at.
Now they're connecting the Elseworlds. What the fuck is happening?
Oh, what is this universe? Kingdom Come,
I'm
reset.
just so upset. Hold on. No way. I previewed that. Hold on. Okay.
Not looking.
Okay. I got this. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Okay, there it is. I know we left off there. Ryan Green.
Flourish.
How much? You know Benedict Cumberbatch is tempted to do that.
Oh, he must. There's so many deleted scenes where he just walks into a frame like.
It's just a subconscious. Yeah.
Guaranteed he does it with cloaks too and Sherlock.
Doesn't look good.
No,
Stop
nobody
it, Benedict.
wins.
Everyone's going to think of Dracula. Stop it.
That's why they delayed the next Doctor Strange, just because there's so many flourishes. He's like, just so much time on set.
There's such a difference between like this to that.
Oh, it's the one arm looks so cool. The yeah, man, big fan.
Love you, Greg, John, and Coy. Love seeing Coy interviewing celebrities. I love it too. And on the break room, I love it.
I love being on the break room. They're great over there. And I think celebrity is a tricky term, but I love talking to people that are fascinating. And famous people tend to be fascinating because they got there because of their fascination with being fascinating. So I love trying to humanize people that for some reason put people on a pedestal. So I do too enjoy talking to celebrities.
I've never had a full conversation with a celebrity like a true celebrity. What I mean by that is you are everywhere you go, you are going to get stormed.
Sure.
Everywhere you go, people are going to be taking photos of you or secretly taking photos of you, like a Brad Pitt.
Sure.
Or a Dwayne Johnson. You know, I've never had like a full conversation. That'd be fascinating to be like, what is it like?
About celebrity or just in general?
Just no, like I've never met. Like I think meeting like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, that would be a very fascinating.
Being around Brad Pitt was interesting.
Like,
just
imagine
his aura
like
at the
decades
of
massive stardom. Or musicians would probably be crazier.
That's what's so crazy about like Keanu Reeves is that he is someone that is able to be that good when there's no reason he can survive what he deals with.
He's still so
like
human.
he's just like he deals with being an object to so many people. That's what I hate about celebrity is people don't treat them like human beings anymore. Like once you're famous to a level like that, people are just like, oh, you need to give me your time to stand here next to me in a photo, or you need to sign a thing. And it takes away their like humanity. And I know people are like, that's the cost, and therefore like we pay them money to see their movies. They owe us this. They don't owe you anything. But to stay so good while being objectified at every turn and have it be for 30 years. And Keanu is literally more concerned with his crew and with his writers and with the people that are working on the comic with him than he is about anyone thinking he's kind. Like he gets uncomfortable when people are like, you're so nice. He's like, I'm just a guy. Like I think Keanu is more aware that people should be as kind as him than he is aware of like the fact that people objectify him, and that is a gift.
And he's also a massive philanthropist.
And he's so
and he doesn't talk publicly about it.
No,
people would like investigate to
It'd be
find
even
out.
more.
Like, he's given like his whole salary from the Matrix.
Yeah, and he thanks the people that actually make the movies what they are. Like the visual effects artists in the Matrix made the Matrix what it is, in addition to the Wachowskis. But like he knew that and gave them all like motorcycles.
That's why we love him.
I just think that it is a unique thing, but I just think that humanizing people is so important, especially as we go into this digital age of like especially TikTok and YouTube. And I think the celebrity culture is calming in one way, but getting way worse in another because there's less movie stars because there's YouTube and TikTok and all these stars. But then that's just more people to other. Like, I don't think people realize how weird it is to like make human beings different than them when they meet them.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an odd concept. And it's an odd thing that's only going to get worse the more we isolate behind keyboards.
I'm bringing this back.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
We both need meandered.
That's fair. We both meandered today, Greg. We've both done it.
Kiana
Kiana distracts us.
Koi Boy Fan Club. Hey now.
Koi boys.
Flex puppy.
That was just for that. Are you objectifying me, Greg? Are you turning me into a puppet?
I called you puppy.
You did. You did. He called me puppy, folks. We're that deep into the live stream. Mark it.
Flex puppy.
Flex puppy. Going to the gym after this so I can earn my puppyhood.
Flex puppy. Thank you, Kiana, for talking about Koi. Silver reviews. Thank you. Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny as new Superman. Ooh, he would be a good Lex Luthor.
He'd be an excellent Lex Luthor.
He'd be a great one.
He's my Reed Richards.
Really?
Dude, he's so smarmy and like comes across really
Correct. I
articulate.
have never seen anything outside of It's Always Sunny of him.
Think about how pretentious Reed Richards is and how off-putting but likable he is. Reed Richards is by definition a guy you shouldn't enjoy but do. That's Glenn Howerton.
My pick is Jason Bateman.
As Reed. He's got that thing. I just can't see it.
It's as much of a joke answer.
No, but like that
I was
actually.
like, he does have that like I am smarter and better than
you.
everyone else attitude all the time. But
That's
he also plays good guys all the
That's
time.
not the worst, dude.
Yeah.
Like I think the joke started,
Yeah.
but now it's like not bad.
Yeah, that's actually weird that I'm like, yeah, no, it actually would work.
You just need that level of like hoity-toity.
Yeah, it's true. That's true, Koi.
That's true.
All right. Mike Villani, thank you for your super chat there, bud.
Villani.
DCU, MCU incursion event in far future. Feige and Gunn. Also, would you guys react to Real Steel since there's mentions of a sequel? Love you guys. That's actually on the list. Watch a Real Steel. I've never seen it. That's on my list.
You're going to have such a good time with Real Steel, man. That movie is so good. Like, it has no right to be as good as it is. It's like Cocaine Bear.
People say so much about like Sean Levy's movies.
Yeah, like they're just so.
They never have a right to be like. He takes these concepts and just sound like this is to be.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and it's a great sports movie.
I think Sean Levy is actually a very. I mean, he's doing Deadpool 3, and that got me so excited. I think he's a very weirdly as successful as he is.
Still slept on.
I feel like he's a very under-recognized director.
Yeah.
This guy often makes movies that sound stupid, and then you watch them and you're like, this is a crowd-pleasing film.
Yeah, this is actually incredible.
Yeah.
No, I think he's mastered that tone, and I think between Stranger Things and everything, he should be like one of the names, and he's not yet.
DCU, MCU incursion event in far future. Far future, yeah, that would be great. It's gonna eventually get to a point.
If things go horribly wrong for both studios at the same time, it'll happen.
I'm saying like maybe a decade or two from now.
Yeah.
They're gonna need it. You're gonna run out of exciting events after a while.
Well, the thing is, everyone's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like that's where it gets. And
Yeah.
I think it will inevitably eventually happen, but I don't think until like the 2030s or 2040s.
I agree.
A long time.
Silver reviews. Thank you. Do you guys think Blue Beetle will be good? I hope so. Caroline, how far behind are you on the stream? I was joking.
He was joking an hour ago.
Damn. Usually we're behind. Do you guys think Blue Beetle will be good? I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer. Okay. Gunn said very
Suit
much
looks
in
great.
the DCU. So do you think it's a low-key start to DCU? Glenn Howerton as Soups, by the way. Yes. I'm hearing this quite a bit. Gunn said very much in the. Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he said that there's a lot of tie-ins. But I think that was to the DCEU, but I don't know if that is that like retroactively getting shoehorned in because of the rolling reboot. That's interesting. I don't think it's going to be the first thing to be the new universe, but I think if it does well, it'll be brought into the new universe because of the rolling reboot.
I do think that regardless, man's name, I'm always questionable how to say it.
Zolo?
Yeah.
I think it's Zolo.
Do you know-
Xolo,
Do you know
Zolo?
how to say his last name?
Cobra Kai.
It's Solo Cobra. Solo Ego thing. I think regardless, he's going to be great.
I'm very excited for the suit. I'm excited for him to play a superhero. I think it's going to be like a different take on the character because it's not the more traditional comic Blue Beetle. It's the new Blue Beetle. It's the second iteration of Blue Beetle. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that because I know that character a little less. Because I think of Blue Beetle as Booster Gold's right-hand man, and this is not that. This is the second iteration of him. So I'm excited to learn some stuff.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You fucking Yeah.
Are we deep enough in the chat to swear now?
I guess so. Just be careful on the kind of words.
Okay, because again, I can't say the CS word.
No.
Because Ben Affleck says it too much.
Sexually vulgar.
That's so crazy that's the issue. You could like literally
We're in
threaten
America.
harm, and sex is evil.
We're in America.
Here in America, we don't have sex, and when we do,
America.
it's only missionary for the reason to have children, not for fun.
You're crossing a line here.
You show boobs, you're in prison.
Crossing a line.
You cut off
here.
a head, that's okay.
We're back on track.
Violence is the answer, but not titties.
Oh,
Is that word not okay?
no,
The T word?
apparently not.
That's crazy.
Well,
That's
apparently
preposterous.
I
Like, that's
believe-
cartoonishly dumb. YouTube, I'm talking to you.
Well, but YouTube
Dumb.
also know that the head joke was just a joke.
It was a joke.
It's meant to be that it's wrong. That's what it's saying. Anyway,
Founded by Puritans, still Puritans.
Coy,
300 years
Coy,
in this
we got a
country,
super chat
haven't
directed
grown
at you.
up.
Coy,
Still being the Bible into the Congress.
Coy,
Hello.
I've got a Spider-Man script. I'm dying to send you.
I haven't watched 87 shows, people have told me. Reading scripts is hard to make time for.
Answer.
I'm aware, and I love that you wrote a Spider-Man script, and this isn't to make you a specific point of no time, but I'm 4 seasons behind on some of my Patreon goals, so I apologize that I have not had time to read a script, but I'm very proud of you. Writing something is so hard. Finishing something is even harder. Adapting something you love is maybe the hardest because your heart is in it so many different ways. So you writing a Spider-Man script warms my heart, and I appreciate you doing it. I just unfortunately don't have time to read it, but thank you for wanting to, for caring about my opinion, and for making new art about a character I love. That means a lot.
That is. I gotta adapt that answer.
Any long form emails, you're like, what did Coy say?
I'm just like, how do I say no?
It truly means the world. I just don't have time.
Somehow I've said yes now.
What have I done? I've got
now
72 scripts to read.
Now I'm committed to this.
I have too many friends that write too many things.
I've done this. Have you written your own comic before, Coy?
I've actually helped a buddy. I've co-written a comic that I think we're launching later in the year, maybe. And I have an idea for a few comics, and I'm starting to understand that I can write it. Greg and I talked about this yesterday. I have a fear of writing because of its permanence, but I've had 2 screenplays optioned, and both times it ended horribly, so I have a lot of trauma around writing. I also don't like the idea of permanence, and so I'm working on that. I'm working through that because I've got a really interesting idea for a script that won't leave my head, and that's always a good sign that it like lives here, and I think about it maybe once a day. So I've got a script I want to put to paper, but I need to work through my own stuff. Yeah,
You never told me this idea.
it's really good. I'm really proud of it.
Pitch it on camera right
Give
now.
Give it away for free. I have one that's a superhero script that's 7/8 done. I literally have 10 pages left to finish it, and I stopped it when I had like my script embezzled. And I've got one that I came up with in the last 5 years because of lockdown. And they're both I'm really proud of both.
What? You never told me any of this.
It's the time thing. But yeah, I should write again because like I'm so inspired by what you're doing and like the freedom of that to escape the like I don't not read YouTube comments, and it's really bad for my mental health to work on the internet. So the idea of like in 10 years doing something that allows me to be in the industry that also isn't comment based. Like I love my opinion and I love sharing it and I love other people's opinions, but there's no reality where you read 100 comments and the one negative one lives with you. I just read the one negative one like it lives with me forever, like a cancer that's spreading. So in 10 years I don't think I can sustain this job. So I want to find something that gives me the passion again, but unfortunately writing is like a sore spot. So I have these ideas and I want to create them, but I need to get through the trauma of like what I went through with writing before.
I think sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
I could tell you guys a great story. I've had some. I don't want to make any announcements until something is signed.
Sure.
I've had some great updates lately on some stuff. Thank you, man. But I once had an experience where I was asked to write something, and I did. And then the directors, they were just like fucking amateur filmmakers, right? So the directors got on a call with me, and they were like, "Hey, it's actually not the direction we want to go.
Yeah.
Appreciate you taking the time to do it." And they didn't realize I didn't hang up yet, and they started like really shit talking me.
Wow.
And me as a person, and like me, my writing.
Yeah. Dude, that's awful.
And then and this was like years ago, and it's shit like that stuck with me of well, I just got to be a better writer now.
Yeah.
That way I could be like,
Well, I mean, a lot of my comics.
so my whole career on YouTube was based off was going, you thought I couldn't make it.
That's why I'm so passionate about comic books. Is like it was what people told me would never amount to anything. Like people literally, when I was growing up, my family supported my love of comics. My dad got me into comics. My dad's comic collection merged into mine because he supported my love of comics. And then everyone else made fun of me for my passion for something they thought was for children. And like I was I did football, I did cheerleading, I was at every table at lunch. But the universal connection was like, what's Coy gonna do for a living? He thinks he's gonna be an actor. He thinks he's gonna be famous. And I don't want like to be an actor anymore because I don't like other people's words in my mouth. I like my words. But the comic thing is like revenge in its own way because what I use my skills for is the thing that no one thought was relevant that now runs this industry. But it's not sustainable forever because I don't have the ability to tolerate the masses.
I have a very simple. I've always tried to simplify things. When I learned, like, if you can simplify your goal into one thing, it makes it easier. And so my process has always been, something hurts me really bad, I tend to feel like a failure. I really get down on myself, and then eventually, that sadness and hurt turns to anger. And then the anger turns to motivation.
Sure.
And then the motivation leads to success.
But that's where I'm almost to that with writing.
That's always my process.
Yeah.
Everything is like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. And then I get angry. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm motivated.
Dude, I mean, I've literally worked for companies where I've written for them and they've told me the writing wasn't good enough. And then they've published it and not paid me.
So
like, I get it, dude. Like,
That's
I've
amazing,
literally
Coy.
had companies be like, we don't like this, not good enough. Oh, but we're going to press boop, and like it's out in the
Fuckers.
world.
We got to get this on track. Enough about our personal lives. No one wants to hear about our personal lives.
No one cares about us.
We
They
lost
care about
500 viewers. We're down to 2 viewers in this stream.
2. Thanks for being here, two of you. Flourish.
My cat is cuter than yours. Thank you. We have 4. They're beautiful. He's got 1.
Oh,
also
Spite
beautiful.
Cat.
We have everything on D+ in the UK, all the Hulu and Star stuff.
That's what I think is coming. I think that's the Hulu thing.
What I wanted to hear. That's good to hear. I just got the Hulu package. Hulu and Disney+.
ESPN, Disney+.
Yeah, it was like it's cheaper to get all 3 than it is to get
1 or 2.
2 individually.
And you might as well. All the
Because I
sports
wanted
you watch.
to watch Family Guy again, and then I ended up watching The Watch and Couples Retreat instead.
Sometimes that's what happens at 1 in the morning.
Enter for none. Thank you for the super chat. They say that if you say James Gunn's name 3 times affirm or Twitter, he'll show up in the replies.
Babadook, Babadook, Babadook.
He has retweeted me once, I think, and that was like the highlight of my life.
He's liked stuff of mine because of me and David Desmalchin knowing each other, and I've been like, one more step. I've also met him a few times, but like not Twitter met him, so I'm hoping those worlds combine. And he's a delight.
I think he's an amazing artist. I love him, and I feel like I had a comment that showed up in Shazam review of mine that I did with John that said, "Do you guys just not like comic book movies anymore? Every time I see your thumbnails, you don't look happy." I gave it a 68%, but. The thing is, like, well, if you're going off of the most recent ones, I'm not like I'm in the minority here, you know?
We're all collectively like, we got to rewrite the ship.
Like Black Adam, Quantumania, and I'm not following a crowd because I'm reviewing these before embargoes have lifted, you know? So it just happens to be my opinion. So I'm just not in the minority there. I feel like Guardians 3 is really going to turn that around.
I am so excited for Guardians 3.
I'd be very surprised if I don't like that movie.
I feel like James Gunn is the most talented of an entire... Like, there's a generation of people that came up with comics not being cool, and he's, like, right on the cusp of when they got cool, but he's able to use that power for good, not evil. Like, I feel like he's doing what we just described in our rants of, like, using all of that rage to make dope art and get back at people. Because he came up through trauma, and he came up when comics weren't cool, and he came up making stuff that was, like, not the mainstream. So now he can rewrite the mainstream.
He's the shit, man. I think James, like, I know the cool thing to do is hate on the guy right now.
Yep.
I think
disagree.
I think he's the shit.
I also think it's only giving him power. If you think about what we just described, we just said like all of the anger makes us stronger. James Gunn's like Superman standing in front of the sun right now, like feed me your Twitter rage. I will retweet you. Like I literally go to the gym and I save up like my day of scrolling so I can use my stupidity I absorb from people to get a better pump. Like I literally go between curls and read dumbasses, and I think that's what James Gunn's doing to make good art.
I mean, if you look at Gunn, I'll end on this with the Gunn thing, is that the guy's been through worse than anything on Twitter in terms of like the fear of losing everything in your career and your livelihood.
Yeah.
You know? And then how did he come back? Talent, skill,
Yeah.
execution of his art. Like that is so it's inspiring. Like, oh shit, he went from fired, canceled, all these things to the head of DC, all because he got an opportunity to make the Suicide Squad, and he's also got Guardians. Like, come on,
He's
like,
the
no matter
only guy that's
what
ever
you
going to
want
be in
to
that position.
shit on about him, there's something to respect about the guy.
And he came out
Yeah.
swinging comics as a storytelling medium that is
Yeah.
important to itself, and that's a respect that I don't think a lot of people
Yeah.
have shown in this industry.
His work speaks volumes.
Truly.
Kiana Chanel, my 32nd birthday is on Monday. Well, happy 32nd birthday.
Happy 32nd birthday.
Would totally appreciate some gold short picks, please, and thank you. What
Happy
what are we
birthday.
talking
The
about?
gold
here?
LeMay Short Sword for Rocky Horror that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes.
It's basically a banana hammock, but like gold and shiny. It reveals most things, and I'm sure there's some. I'll see if I can find any for you that were publicity photos.
Yes.
Very naked. Happy birthday.
I can't wait to see it.
I do appreciate the thirst of nerd culture with me as I get back in shape. It's inspiring. I appreciate
Dude,
you.
nerd culture and horror culture are like
Thirsty.
They are thirsty.
I literally only had 3 beers yesterday because I'm working to get my abs back for the culture, the nerd culture. I'm getting it back. I'm gonna get so shredded for y'all.
I've never had a six, even when I was like super skinny and like when I was like really, I want to say like from 18 to like 23, I was really fit. Yeah, I was like really, but I never got a 6-pack. And my goal, I'm gonna get a 6-pack this year.
I can help.
I'm gonna do it on my own.
Oh, you can do it.
I don't believe in help.
I mean, do your thing. I gained weight during COVID, and then I gained more in like the lockdown that followed. So I've had like pretty aggressive body dysmorphia for 2 years. So like this is like personal. So right now, like I'm enjoying the gym more than I'm enjoying anything I'm doing professionally. So like it's been really nice to be like, what do I want to do today? Gym. It's been like fulfilling.
It's
And it's
just
working.
every other Saturday turns into I'm gonna have this big meal. Start on Sunday. I tend to carry through. Like when I say that, I tend to at least carry through on Sunday. Like, all right, I'm back to it.
See, I weigh myself and take pictures every 5 days on the 5, 10, 15, 20. And that way, if I mess up one day, I'm like, oh, I've only got 4 more days to do weigh-in.
Yeah.
And then I get, like, I'm aware that mess up rolls. So I don't let myself mess up more than once or twice in a month because I'm like, I'm only a day from a weigh-in. So it's been really helpful to like.
Well, you got to get bulky, and I'm gonna get skinnier.
And then our powers combine.
Like, Coy's arms are so big.
No, you're doing good, man. That's actually like commendable.
I'm trying.
That's like.
But yours look like naturally big. I gotta like flex. TJ Perry, TJ was a front row at the live event and known him since St. Charles days, years. He was a grade behind me at a school where there's only like 30 kids in the class.
That's crazy.
So I know TJ. TJ, if Halloween Horror Nights decides to make The Last of Us their theme this year, how cool would that be?
Terrifying.
How I said it in the first episode that this should be a haunted attraction.
Yeah,
that,
dude.
like it should be a maze. How excited would you be on a scale from 1 to 10?
11.
I didn't even read that part of the question. Clearly, I would be very excited. Yeah, that would be incredible.
I love that take.
That would be fucking bananas. The people would. I would pay top dollar
To be scared by
just
mushroom
to go to that
people.
one fucking maze.
Yeah, dude. Like 11. And they should because
Watch
it's so topical.
multiple actors playing multiple Joels in that one maze.
Yes. Mike Kalinowski would make a good Joel.
Loop the whole audio being like, Ellie, get over here. So Shane, I love mazes. I think they're so fun. They're not scary to me anymore.
Kalinowski as Joel for at least one because he's
I know,
already over there.
he's been fucking not Nick Off. What is his name? Norman Bates.
Nick Offerman?
He's been Norman Bates. Fucking.
That's what I'm saying. He's already in house
for years.
We missed one. Johnny there.
Oh yes.
I got you.
Thanks, Johnny. Thank you. Top 5 movie directors today. I'm gonna say James Gunn because he's on the topic. Why not? James Gunn. Denis Villeneuve. I do love me some Tarantino. I really do. I do think he's a stronger writer than director, but I do love some Tarantino. Like you say, his last film, like, oh, I'm excited. Nolan's kind of been dipping for me a little bit. But Damn, there's some craft to him. Huh?
Mm.
Who do you got? I got 3 so far. Who do you got?
Fincher, Villeneuve. Man, only 5 is hard because I've got like 40, but also 2. Fincher, Villeneuve are definitely top 2. I'm gonna go Gunn as well because I really can't think of a movie I didn't love, and like he's only getting better. Like
I know you don't love Scorsese, but I love Scorsese.
I love like a third of Scorsese to an 11, but I am so neutral to negative on a lot.
You know, this guy hasn't seen Goodfellas.
Hasn't seen Goodfellas, and maybe that'll turn me. Maybe that's one that pushes me over the edge.
Goodfellas is.
But I think The Departed's better than most of his stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's such a like me." Like,
what have you seen of his?
What are some Scorsese movies?
The Irishman, and
That's a -3.
Hugo,
Fine.
Kundun.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kundun.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I know he's revered and loved, but like
The Taxi Driver, Raging Bull.
I've not seen either of those.
Mean Streets. These are great.
So I should watch
films.
these movies because maybe that'll turn
I'm
me.
not sure Taxi Driver will do it for you.
Because the Joker.
I mean,
It'll be like why I watched The Godfather, and I was
look.
like, this is Men in Tights.
You didn't like Godfather?
No, I loved Godfather, but I'd seen Men in Tights my whole childhood, and it references Godfather so much.
Okay.
I kept laughing when I like it was supposed to be intense. I'm like,
Alfonso Cuarón, amazing. Yeah.
That's 3. Okay. Fincher, Villeneuve.
He hates
Gunn.
permanence, guys.
Yeah, this is hard. This is very hard. Do you have any? Who's your last one?
If he made more movies, and I know this is a controversial opinion, if he made more, I would say it. Mel Gibson is a fantastic director. He really is.
Jon Favreau. He's got to be
one of my favorites.
He's got to be because I think Elf is sensational, as is Iron Man.
I think his career is wildly impressive.
That's fair. Okay, that's true.
I
But as
think-
far as directing style, not as much your jam.
There's nothing about his directing style that I think is definitive.
You know what? I think that's fair. I think I like his movies more than I like his directing. Like
Yeah.
that's fair. Man, this is really hard.
It is hard.
I mean, it's almost like
James Mangold. For
Oh,
sure.
that's 4.
That's a great pick.
confirmed. Mangold.
Mangold can like hop between genres like nobody's business.
That Swamp Thing potential is revelatory for comic movies. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, he has this insane ability to do any genre.
I love Gangs of New York. I like The Aviator quite a bit. I like Wolf of Wall Street quite a bit. Okay. And yeah, Oppenheimer might turn Nolan back into my top 5, but right now he's like 7 or 8. Like it's up
He's
there.
just too much of a technical director and not enough of a storyteller to me anymore.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Ryan Coogler would
Did
be
you
like
see Tenet?
I loved Tenet.
Did you keep up with it?
Yeah.
You're one of the few.
I didn't. I saw it one day, and then 3 days later saw it a second time to make sure that I was right. And I didn't actually understand the complication of the storytelling. Like I didn't understand what made it.
Your brain. You take
My brain's loud.
You take an interest in that shit, don't you?
Yeah, like I study psychology for fun, and I also think that like the way we perceive time is relative. Like I think about like,
But that's not a psychology movie. It's more of like a scientific.
but like the
theoretical
way we study time
quantum
is because of our
physics.
psychology.
I mean, I get what you're saying there.
So like the time element and the way we perceive time all tie together. So I felt like kind of versed in what he was telling in a way that's maybe unique. Because I think the way I look at time is because of I think the way our human brains pattern things. And the whole movie's about pattern-based recognition of awareness of time, and that's all based on our psychology and our pattern recognition as the way our brains work.
When I saw that movie, I remember being a half hour into it, and because Olivia's obsessed with science and everything the movie talks about. Like she's obsessed. You know how fucking smart she is.
Yeah.
So it's
It's great to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, she really knows this subject. And then half hour in, and she was like, "I know what the ending twist is going to be." And I looked at her and I said, "I don't even know what's happening right now."
I've got to talk to her about this movie.
And then we put on videos to try to explain this because it's confusing for a lot of people.
I love that so
we
much.
put on breakdowns on the car ride home to try to explain because I drove like an hour to watch it because it was COVID time.
Yeah.
And then she would have to like pause the breakdown like every minute. To
I
try
love
to
that
explain
so much.
What they just explained, and I'm like, I'm having the hardest time like grasping this.
Dude, that's so crazy. You and I barely knew each other then because I rented out a theater in Orange, and you would have been totally the person I brought
really?
then. And like we didn't really know each other. That wasn't that long ago. That's crazy to think think about. Like, I also did that, and we would have
Yeah.
seen it with each other had we known each other better.
Now I talk to you too much.
Now I've been in your house for hours.
Jordan Garza, we're back on track here. Fucking A, it all goes down the hippocampus. You were talking about
Yeah,
that yesterday.
Aisha. Handle it,
Literally
dude,
talking about
super
this
helpful,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Totally changes your perspective on reality.
Was not at there from Texas, so a bit of a drive. Would have loved that, though. Have a Fleetwood poster in my room. Way different genre, but seeing Drake in June. Hell yeah.
Versatility of music taste is a very important thing that a lot of people don't have anymore. I love that.
Olivia seeing Taylor Swift.
She got them
June.
T-Swift tickets. Good
She
for her.
worked her ass off to get those tickets.
I'm not a big Swiftie, but I really respect the fucking passion behind that audience.
My regret is going, no, my cousin can go with you instead.
Oh, passing on the Swiftie.
Because I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, and then I'm like looking at a concert, I'm like, but I'm pretty sure I would still enjoy this concert.
Yeah, that's pure entertainment.
Yeah, I'm still pretty sure I'd be like, this would be a once in a lifetime experience.
Dude,
and I'd totally skipped out on it.
Yeah, you're passively, nah, I'm all right.
Like, I don't need to go.
Like, I will see Harry Styles before I die. That man can put
I
on a
would see
show.
I would see Beyonce. Like a lot of people I just don't really listen to, but I'm like,
The show.
I should have said yes to that. Like this would have been a cool show to watch.
I just want to get more successful to go to Harry Styles. Like, I want to,
Yeah.
I need
I
to
would
be.
love to go to concerts, more concerts. Yeah, I think.
Skipping Flogging Molly yesterday broke my heart, but there's so much cool stuff coming, I couldn't risk it.
Deadshot sent link of tribute to on Twitter. Well, thank you for the super chat, and you'll know if we end up reacting to it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're not one of those reaction channels. It's like a hit it and quit it kind of thing. You know, we like to put a little bit of time into what we do. The prestige is amazing. I want him to go back to a little bit more prestige in some ways I feel like Nolan has evolved as a filmmaker.
Memento.
And in other ways he's devolved as a storyteller. Like
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. And James Cameron say the same thing. Like he's evolved as a filmmaker, but he's devolved as a storyteller. And like even though I loved Way of Water. I've seen it twice. And I'm like, and I do not have that sentiment about the first Avatar. I love Way of Water, but I do feel like, yeah, this ain't no fucking like Terminator though, you know?
Sure.
No, this ain't even Titanic even, you know? And I think people forget like Titanic is a pretty emotionally sweeping film.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I never got my fourth. I saw someone say Ryan Coogler. He's definitely in my 10. I think he's the closest to landing as my number 5.
I've never seen Fruitvale Station.
Oh, it's incredible. That's a reaction, man. that is a sweeping
yeah,
experience.
I've never seen that.
It is brutal.
Gary, thank you. Make MCU left wing and DCU right wing.
It's not far off.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
Yeah, one's of gods and monsters.
One's-
now we're taking our stand here.
I mean, one's about accepting your fellow man, and one's about putting gods above you.
Yes.
It's not far off from that's black and whiting the system. But if we're gonna look at it black and white, I mean, one of them is literally like, "What if things that were above us made us scared?" And the other one's like, "We should kind of accept others, right?" Like that seems like a tight thing to do.
I mean, we'll see how. I mean, James Gunn's a pretty liberal guy, right?
That story line in Last of Us blew my mind. It was one line of dialogue, and it like when Pedro Pascal said like back then it was one side thought everyone should own nothing, and the other side thought only some people should own everything. And I was like, what a black and white way to look at so many problems with this country. And I just never thought of it in that clean of a sentence. And that's not far off from some of the storytelling in those two universes.
Pedro B. Thank you so much. Teen Titans and DCU movie, game, show, animated. I think it would be great. We've had enough of Teen Titans animated. I think it would be great if they can pull off a way to get them to be live action movie and not the Titans thing they did with the Teen Titans.
No, Teen Titans.
I think it would be cool if they managed to pull it off. I think they should give it I would love to see them really do it. And it's worked very well in animated.
The current run of Nightwing just brought the Teen Titans back as a forefront team in the DC Comics universe, and the comics are starting to they're going to start tying into the movies in the next year or two. Would not surprise me if Teen Titans is the next wave announced in Chapter 1. I think Teen Titans is coming.
You know, like as much as I obviously between the two of us enjoyed Snyderverse way more than Coy. That's not to say you don't like it.
No, but I think I used to enjoy it more. I think the Snyder fans have ruined Snyder films for me.
I do think though that when it comes to James Gunn's direction of making truly making a thing that can compete with the MCU, it is going to be the first time I think the MCU can might be sweating a tiny bit once they see what he pulls out.
I totally agree.
And
I think this Comic-Con
that's exciting to me because it's going to force the MCU to step up their game too.
competition is the best thing for any business.
Yes,
and Marvel has not had competition in a shared universe yet.
Because James Gunn would know how to do catch up, but without rushing.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like he's gonna get it. I feel like he's gonna get the job done, and no one can get there quicker than him. I think like he knows how to do ensemble pieces
And
make people really like the Suicide Squad to me is so impressive.
yeah, he made
to
an
them.
entire team work twice.
Yeah.
Also, like Quantumania causing Marvel to pause isn't the only thing that caused them to pause.
Yeah.
The Gunn announcement is definitely part of them being like, we got to up our game now. Competition hasn't even started yet, and
Yeah.
they're aware.
They know it's gonna be good. Coy, Jordan Gaza, I got that reference. I got that reference. I understood that reference. Thank you. JJ, what a nice super chat. Thank you. Hey, I know this has nothing to do with superheroes, but I appreciate your super chat. But I'm working on being an actor and director, and right now I'm on a play called Light the House, and I'm the main character. Any advice? Because I'm the main character, and I'm nervous. Well, the best piece of common advice I hear from actors all the time, and if I'm ever asked to be in a short film or some bullshit, so I'm not talking as a big professional actor by any stretch, but the most common advice that I constantly hear is listen. Listen to your and feel and feed on. Like that's why you always hear other actors constantly say, I work with what the other actors are giving me. So be receptive. A lot of times people to anticipate how they're going to be. That's what they call letting go. Being is when you let go, you're just being in the moment, and the best way to do that is connect. So that's why actors are more trained to make eye contact. Unlike in real life, most people suck at eye contact, and I'm not in real life. I suck at eye contact too. But if I ever have to do an acting thing, it's like I know eye contact's going to help me out because I'm feeling the connection here, and I'm working off of the feeling that I'm going with that. And you don't want to force feelings. So listen to your other actors. Then it becomes a game of that, especially if you're being the main character. Listen.
Overtrain. Literally build in the dialogue in your head and then forget it.
Especially for a fucking play. Yeah.
Yeah. Like get to the point where you are so well versed in the language. And I always used to play it dry in my head and dry out loud a lot to get it to be where I wouldn't be performative with my delivery because I had played it a certain way. Like if you always do this when you deliver the dialogue on the day, that might not work because you're with other people. So try not to have your pentameter set. Try not to have your emotionality set. Try not to have the way you think of the lines. Know the lines so sure they feel like your words. That way when you react to the words, it is a reaction to the scene in that moment, not in the backstory of your head. Because much like the TikTokification of society, we are always going to be thinking of the future and the past. So I think the anxiety we've all collectively felt is because we're always rushing to the next thing. If you think about like culture right now, Creed 3 was a brilliant piece of work, and it was 2 weeks ago, and it feels like a year ago because everything in our society is like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And the next thing. We're always looking at the next thing. So I think no matter how good something is, the reason I use Creed 3 is because it's so exceptional. We're always waiting for the next thing instead of living in the present. And I think the best way to be an actor is to live in the present. So don't overthink the future. Don't dwell on the past. Try to get it in your body, both physically and mentally, and then live presently, which is what everyone, actor or not, should aspire to do because we're failing as a species by being so anxious to the future.
Leave a like on this video, people, if you're here. I'm just asking really quick. All right, let's keep this going.
Hope that helped.
We're gonna end by 2.
Okay.
Watch us do it.
Watch us,
mother effers.
Let me know what time it is. Okay.
Jordan Garza, thank you. Getting Coy to do my film comic elevator pitches. Walks into Marvel headquarters. Okay, tell him, Coy. Imagine Thanos becomes the Herald of Galactus.
I mean, it'd be a fun journey.
I think you'd be an amazing pitch.
I got a pitch.
Artist.
Oh, dude, I would
love to read your writing.
I should. You know what? No one's read my writing in 5 years. You'll be the first.
What Coy does is he lowers the font from a 12 to like an 8 and jam packs it. So
that's my trick.
It's 110 pages.
Guys, it is hour and 40 minutes. Cake.
I'm like, what is this? Some type of caveman thing?
Everyone in my script has to talk as fast as me. Like, you all have to talk as fast as me in my movies. Otherwise, it's too long. I've actually always thought that I'd be great at the side effects list on drug ads, but I don't believe in like pharmaceuticals to the scale that they're accepted in America, so I couldn't do it. But I think it'd be really fun to do.
Resident Nerd Man. Nick Cage needs to play Superman. Thank you for the super chat. Needs to play Superman in the DCU and Batman. He can play both roles at the same time. I believe it. I already played Big Daddy.
He was great.
Surprisingly fucking great in that.
Oh, man. And he's kind of both things.
Yeah. And then Superman, I can never see that as Superman. I thought that even back then when Nick Cage was an amazing ass actor, I 2 hour cutoff request on that one guy. Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, I like that footage they had and Schnapp's like
Yeah.
documentary. Nope.
I
Nope,
never saw it.
wouldn't have wanted this.
Even the
No,
voice in Titans.
There's not a chance in hell I think I could have ever liked this as him as the choice.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And it's a real struggle because I love Nick Cage and I love Superman, but not everyone works for everything.
No, and I think Nick Cage especially would have. Nope, that wouldn't have been my jam. Nope.
Big Daddy worked though.
I have to say no to that. Big Daddy, great.
Great.
Aisha, Kenya, I remembered. It's in my frontal lobe.
Yeah, right.
Aisha, hello, Greg and Coy. Gunn stated the new DCU will include games that connect with the films and shows. What games do you think we'll get? That is something I have put the least amount of thought into.
I think we finally get a Superman game.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's going to definitely happen. Finally get that Superman game. I've never known the game side of James Gunn.
I think he's just going to hire the best. I don't know if he's going to be, as integral. I think the storytelling will be like, weaved in and out of his whole universe, but I don't think he'll be like on the gaming.
I think out of everything, that will be the least reliant on a necessity to experience.
I think it'll be side missions. I think some of the characters and some of the voice actors will be involved, but I don't think it would be fair to people to like, you need 20 hours to get this.
It would be fucking cool though if like they got the voice actors to.
Oh, I think that's coming.
That would make it really stand out.
Honestly, there could be a line of dialogue in the opening of a movie that's like, yeah, and that thing that happened at the bank, and that could be like a thing that happened in a game. And that's in comic movies now. There's lines of like this had happened that never get seen. You could do that in the games.
Yeah, I mean, have you played Enter the Matrix?
Yeah, exactly like that.
You see, there were things though about the experience of that where it was like they really made it like a necessity to understand, not to understand the movies, but to understand what the fuck they were doing.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? No, I don't think. I take that back.
Yeah, because like
you don't need to have played.
It just helped. Like when you met those two, you were like, oh, because you played the game, but you didn't need that.
It does help out, and I think something along those lines.
Same with the Animatrix. I think the Matrix Animatrix video game blueprint is the model for this.
Matrix was ahead of the game on that.
Just 20 years.
They were.
The Wachowskis are only just wicked far ahead of society.
Yeah, they were. They sincerely they were. Random Andy's channel. Hey, buddy, good to see you again. And thank you, Aisha, for that question. But yeah, whoa, Coy, whoa, Coy, whoa, Coy,
whoa, Coy,
whoa. That sounds like woke Coy, whoa, Coy.
Keanu Reeves just vibing.
There's something there. Woko. With the Spider-Man monologue, giving me Ben Shapiro of the comic book knowledge. You're the Ben Shapiro of comic books. You hear that, buddy?
I read books, and I know what empathy is. So I disagree, but I appreciate the, I believe, compliment. If you like Ben Shapiro, I just personally think that he's a genital wart on the taint of America. So
couldn't disagree more.
Happy for you.
Have you seen his WAP music video reaction?
I think that man has never made a PW in his life. I say it stopped it. I almost demonetized us, but I think that he is the sandpaper of vaginas.
I don't get why people don't like him. I think he's got some interesting opinions.
I think he is. I think he's the thing that Pedro Pascal played in Wonder Woman.
The guy's an ass.
He's just the worst. But I appreciate the theoretical praise if you enjoy Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. All right. I want to be one of those channels one day who's like, you know what? We're not going to read the super chats anymore. Bye.
Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. I love to be that guy. No, never be that guy. Never. You guys contribute to us. This means the world.
Truly. That's why we're here.
All right. And unless it's like a Coy, move over there for a second.
I kept the chair moving.
My God, I'll bring you back in a minute. Read the chat. What's going on here?
The people are agreeing with me about Ben Shapiro. Someone asked me if I've seen Swarm. I haven't yet. That's one of the things that I need to watch before I do most things. I'm a giant Childish Gambino fan. Huge fan of Donald Glover. Everything he does, I think he is our generation's Beethoven or Mozart. We're going to look back as like that was the man who made beautiful art that lasted the test of time.
Damn, we still got 673 people watching.
Dude, we're like almost 3 hours. Pretty crazy.
It's pretty good.
That is a lot. I respect you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm gonna just load some stuff. Oh yeah. Hold on a sec. What I need to do is zoom out here. Boom. Keep it going, Coy. Well, I load this for a final round.
Yeah, so Swarm is definitely high on my list. I still need to watch Season 5 of My Hero Academia for my patrons. I'm going to do that soon. I need to watch Season 3 of Wu-Tang: An American Saga on Hulu because I think it's one of the best shows on TV, and it started airing a month ago, and I haven't seen a single episode of it. I know that Dave drops on the 5th of April, which I'm very excited about, so I need to catch up on those things there. I am almost done with Shrinking. There's one episode left, and that show is genius. Right now, I'm really vibing with heartfelt content because I realize that, like, your diet is not only what you consume like as food, like nutritionally, it's also what you're consuming as art. And I tend to listen to a lot of like really aggressive art, and I was realizing subconsciously it was affecting my worldview of the world. My worldview of the world's already pretty dark, so I'm trying to like supplement a lot of positive content into my space so I can find my optimism again about the world other than fiction. So I'm working on positive consumption of art for now, and then I'm going to get back into the darker stuff as I get my mental health better.
Oh, you missed most of the live because you were watching that 56% movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which one?
Shazam.
Oh, I mean, that's. I hope it brought you as much joy as it brought me.
I hope it ruined your day.
And that's the two sides of this. That's why John's in the middle. This live chat of John, because we have different views. Ruining your life. I hope you hated everything.
I hope you liked it and had fun. I met a lot of people at the premiere who loved it, and it was nice to. I love seeing that.
Just joy, man.
I like when people are happier. I prefer you happy than
yeah.
you know, because honestly, like a repeat amount of negative talk can get tiresome.
It's exhausting.
Even if I have like a fairly negative opinion on a movie or something, like I hate. Like, oh my God, everyone wants to talk to me about why they don't like Ant-Man. I'm sick of it.
Dude,
yeah,
within 3
I got
days.
sick of it.
I was done.
I was like, I don't want to talk about Ant-Man anymore.
Do you remember like that Sunday? I was like, Greg, I think I'm done with Ant-Man. Like, I was like, I don't like, even I didn't enjoy it and didn't want to talk about it. Like, I don't like negativity.
But if something's good, like.
I do also need to watch Intergalactic. Robin West Parker. Yes, that's true. Robin's the best, and I need to watch that. Good call.
I'm going to reload this shit. All right, guys. We got 27 minutes to end this stream.
Okay. Are you gonna put a pause on all of them?
We're gonna do it. Now let's see what happens.
Okay.
All right, 27 minutes. Then we're out. Get final super chats in if you want to. That would mean a lot. If you don't want to, that's okay. Just saying. Just saying. If you don't do it, you're a horrible human being.
Worst. Why you?
That you should contribute, and that Coy judges you as a human being.
I've looked at every name in this chat, and I remember everyone that didn't have a blue or green thing next to it. I know who.
I know you. Spy Jams. I like hearing your personal journeys like screenwriting. Are short films helpful calling cards for screenwriters, or is that more beneficial for directors? I'm a screenwriter trying to find routes to gain exposure and hopefully representation. Well, I mean, as long as you're just working on the craft. I think that's the main thing you got to do. You just got to keep. A lot of people underestimate. Don't have a different. The word discipline can sound hard to people.
Yeah, that's fair.
When discipline, a lot of time can just mean show up, just show up and give it a shot. And you got to be able to do it when you like. You can attest like for working out. You know,
show up.
Like if you want to get in shape or lose some weight, a lot of times you got to just go when you don't feel like going.
I am shocked by the consistency being better than the hardest workout. Like truly, it took me a decade of working out to learn that. I started working out when I was 14, and I was in my mid-20s before I finally realized that like going every other day for 30 minutes is better than going for 2 hours twice. Like it is. Instrumental consistency, and you can literally just show up and walk on a treadmill. That's better than nothing. And writing's the same. Like if you get half a page, that is better than no pages. And if you're giving yourself like a must-do 5 pages rule, you're less likely to get that half page. Yeah. So sometimes it's literally just sitting down and typing, and sometimes it's literally just walking into the gym. Sometimes it's literally just like weighing yourself and taking pictures so you're less apt to eat that thing. Yeah. So like personally, consistency is to me discipline in a way better way, and also making your goals long term. Like everything's a marathon in life. We're all dying rapidly, but we don't know when that's going to happen. And it'd be better to have more done and get somewhere than it would be to stress and not get anywhere.
I think if in terms of this like actual thing for like I've had the pleasure of working with a couple of. I'm not going to name drop, but I've had the pleasure of working with a couple of people lately, and it's been awesome. And I think I do believe in like the concept of law of attraction. Like I didn't meet these people via the YouTube channel. They didn't even know the channel, you know? So I think that a lot of it does come down to if you put in the work, somehow you can attract that right person. It can be a variety of ways. And I think at the end of the day, what matters is if you keep doing the craft and then you just kind of just converse with people.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing I would suggest. You know the term networking? I feel like you would really attest to this too. I don't like that word. I really don't. I hate it. I hate the concept. I hate when I'm being instructed by a publicist to network. I fucking hate it. I really do. And I'm kind of known around circles to be the guy who's like, I'm not doing that. I'm jumping ship. Bye. But I've managed.
I'm known as the opposite.
But I've managed to make some really great connections, and that's because the last thing I talk about or I try to avoid often is talk about their work. I try to talk to them about like other things that might be of their interest, or like if I like someone who I've been working with lately, I just kind of talked about what their favorite movies are, you know, and then we bond over that. And my idea is not to network.
That's
and
same.
Connect. It's like I just want to like get to know you as a person, and oftentimes that leads to these things that you're talking about, and it's kind of like that in all walks of life. A lot of people get rubbed the wrong way when you're like, "Hey, I'm so and so. Here's my business card. If you're ever looking for this," a lot of people don't really like that. Like anyone I've ever brought on the channel, I've known of Coy forever, so, you know, years. And a big part of what brought him on here was like I got to know him as a person, and I was like, I like talking with this guy. He should come on the channel. You know?
I've been doing this 10 years as of last month, and only now do I feel like I don't need to be someone going like, because I've found comfort in the actual talking to people. And I think that's what is different and tricky about the industry is it's such a desperation because of the nature of it. Until you're comfortable, you're uncomfortable. There's no real middle. Like there's just panic and then like comfort. And so it's hard when you're not comfortable to not feel that panic, but you have to find a way through other mechanisms and other ways to find happiness outside of your job. And I struggle because I've turned all my hobbies into work. And a lot of people are like, if you make the thing you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And like I used to believe that, but then I realized I needed supplements. Just
That's
like
not 100% true.
Yeah, exactly. Like just like at the gym, like you can eat really well and get in a certain kind of shape, but you still need supplements like vitamin C, vitamin D, creatine, some things to be stronger. You can get to a certain point in your life where if you turn what your hobbies into what you love, you can be comfortable. But if you want to be exceptional, you need to find things outside of your work so you don't feel that desperation. And I've only recently been able to actually find things I enjoy outside of this. And I think it's those conversations with people I do admire and respect off camera that I'm occasionally letting be on camera that inspire me to keep this up and keep me sane.
Yep. I'm 100% with you on that, Mr. Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's where we left off.
Book words.
I think that was meant with love, so I'm trying to receive it with love.
He is. He's just talking about your fast talking speed and the hot and yeah. Don't
I'm receiving it with love. Did I rant?
And also how you come across like a Republican.
Yeah, I mean obviously that vibe. That's why I stopped shaving my head, Greg. I miss my shaved head, but I look like January 6th. I was busy.
I look like January 6th.
I miss it so much, but I know I'll get questioned where I was.
Such a funny sentence. I look like January 6th.
I mean,
Scream Truman.
Frankly, I know where I was, and it wasn't there. But I look wrong when I shave it. I miss it.
Scream Truman. Thank you for the moment of silence, as John would say. James Ferguson. Thank you for the super chat. What do you think of the future of Doctor Who? Well, I'm only on the Jodie Whittaker season, everyone's favorite. I like Jodie Whittaker a lot. I think she's great. I think it is one of the more weak-ridden seasons. I really want Coy to start Doctor Who.
I watched the Crying Angels one. That was great. The Weeping Angel episode.
Oh, with famous actress Michelle.
Yes.
Oh, no. Is it Michelle Williams?
No, it's not.
Not Michelle Williams.
It's
Carey Mulligan.
Yes. You saying Michelle threw me so hard that I was like, panic. Yeah, Carey Mulligan episode was great.
Yeah,
So I've only seen that and then one Matt episode. But
that is too high of a standard to start off on.
Well, I've seen a good one, and it was great.
That is one of the like absolute best Doctor
It's
Who
exceptional.
episodes.
I was so impressed.
And you're just like, yeah, I'll start off with like one of the top ever.
So I watched Infinity War. Do you think I'll like Iron Man?
Let me just start off with the best of the best. And then, like, the show's actually not as good as criticized.
Well, I loved that one, so that's good.
The cool thing about there are some of those the Doctor's barely in that episode too.
When he's there, he's great.
There's one. My favorite episode of all time is an episode called, I think it's called Midnight Train. And it is like it's all contained in one location.
Cool.
Fucking brilliant. And it's
That's on my to watch, and I just added the David Tennant show with what's it called? The Neil Gaiman show with Tennant.
Couldn't get into that show. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one because I love
Amazon
them too.
show?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't get into it.
Good Omens.
Chris Cooper. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Superman and Lois is going to be very hard to fit into the schedule. There's so many other things you guys don't know that I am freaking on. There's so many other things that I'm like, he knows I'm usually up for like 15 hours.
It's a lot.
Chugging away.
It's dangerous.
A lot these days. And on top of that, too, a lot of it is for the channel as well. And like if the current structure with things, if the editors we hire are not editing, I'm the one editing the videos. John, if he edits, he's editing like the intro for a video, and he'll give notes on an edit that the editors do. But like so it's not to discredit because it does take time and work, but like a full video, like I'm that guy. But beyond that, there's other things I'm working on. It's going to be really hard to squeeze Superman and Lois in. And also every year people are like, I get so
We'll watch it.
I get a certain amount of people who really just keep telling me to like just constantly barrage me with it, and then no one ends up watching our video. Like they end up not really. And that's a Wednesday when like freaking Mandalorian's out, and I'm pulling all nighters to get Mandalorian done, and then I got to do Superman and Lois, and then I'm gonna probably end up making that myself. It's just gonna be a little bit hard right now to squeeze it in. Honestly, as much as I love it, I've tried to convince. On private time, he'll tell you, like I've tried convincing him to like watch the show.
So many shows.
Like I love that show. It just seems to be premiering at a time that is very difficult for me to right now squeeze in.
We're announcing a thing at Comic-Con, at WonderCon.
WonderCon.
That's one of the things that we're announcing.
Louis Berry. Hope to get Christopher Lloyd as Hondo in Mando Season 3. You don't know who that is, but I'm on the same page with you, buddy. I love that pick.
Hondo Mando, yeah.
Hondo, yeah. It's a good character.
Okay,
Hondo character.
all right. I believe you.
I would love to watch it. Trust me, Superman and Lois. It pains me. It is just very...
Did we miss one before that, I think?
Maybe you're probably right about everything.
That one.
There it is.
I got you.
Yeah. Chris Cooper. Did I read Chris Cooper in a different one? What would you recommend Zack Snyder do moving forward? Rebel Moon? I think Zack Snyder should do what makes him happy. The guy lost a daughter, and that was one of the most tragic things I can imagine for a human being to experience.
I can't fathom
and
it.
all I want him to do is do what makes him happy. So, fuck it. If it's Rebel Moon, focus on Rebel Moon. If that's the thing, I don't know what to recommend for the guy. I think like the guy has options. The guy can, as much as he doesn't have a relationship with Warner Brothers, the guy has options.
And I love that his wife produces with him because it makes me feel less guilty about wanting more art from him because clearly he enjoys it and he gets to see his wife when he's working. So I
True.
think they should do what they want because they've earned it
Yeah.
and because they've been through so much. So yeah, I'm with you. Whatever they want to do.
Whatever you want to do, Zack Snyder, like just do what makes you happy. If it's another army of the dead. Do that.
There
one.
it is.
Yes.
Also, Catherine Dawson Foy in the live chat. It is great to see Koicast listeners in here. I have a podcast I never talk about. Koicast listeners, it is good to see your names pop up in here, and it's on like all the Spotify like streaming platforms.
Part of your NDA is you are not allowed to
Talk about anything else
talk
I
about
do.
anything else you've ever worked on.
Oh, I forgot, guys. I just broke my contract. I'm no longer a reject.
Ismael Montoya. Thank you. Hey guys, when I saw Wonder Woman, I asked myself, but why? Oh, you're talking about Shazam. Why leave out Henry Cavill? It seems anyone associated with The Rock and DCU gets booted. That's what it is. It's fucking Dwayne Johnson's fault. All this is happening, man.
What is the? What's her name was in it? From Peacemaker.
It is a weird repetition from Black Adam to Shazam. What are the two movies? Because they had Black Adam, and it seemed like we need to kind of leak that Henry Cavill's in it
Sure.
because we need to sell more tickets. It's not looking so hot for us. And then it seems like that was their move as well for Shazam.
Sure.
And
it's not a good move. It's not a great method.
I think audiences can also pick up on that it's a little desperate.
Because it doesn't. Well, what's tricky is the bubble we're in. We speak like film to a level of business and show. I don't know how much of the country that just loves going to these movies that has no interest in show business just goes like, I know that character, I would like to see them, and goes sees it.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if they care about us anymore because we're going to see it no matter what.
Yeah, and I think people also know that sometimes it can be very manipulative.
It is.
Like, I think even general audiences.
I think it's wasteful, and I also think it hurts David Sandberg. It hurts the director.
My mind goes back to when the Incredible Hulk trailers showed, because I saw Incredible Hulk twice a couple months before it came out because they had early screenings at ArcLight, like preview screenings.
Like in 2008?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like because I'm pressed or something. It was just like
That's crazy.
I'd like
man.
wait outside for a couple hours and then go watch
I used to
it.
do those too.
Yeah, I love those. And so I watched it twice, and so I didn't know I wasn't rooting for me that Iron Man would have a cameo at the end. And the trailer showed it, and I think at the time people thought Iron Man would be in it more.
Yeah.
And I think since then people they can kind of pick up they keep cutting to this one piece of footage. Is probably the only
That's
thing
the
they're-
same.
That's
Look
probably,
at them that day on set.
That's probably the only part they're in. Like they have the movie Ballerina coming out with Ana de Armas, the spinoff of John Wick.
Yeah.
And John Wick, Keanu's confirmed to be in it, and I have a feeling the trailers will show it.
The one scene he's in.
But I feel like they might need that though, just so that they know it's
So the
connected.
connectivity
So they know it's connected.
It's not like people don't know the Hulk's in the MCU.
Yeah, that's a different
Who's
case,
this Hulk guy?
actually.
What's going on here?
Yeah, they need to know it's in the same universe.
But yeah, it did bother me as well. I didn't know the trailers showed her until after I'd seen it, luckily. But yeah, it's not cool.
you.
Very.
I had heard, and I was like, I'm not surprised.
Apparently it was in emails. Like I read a tweet that said like I got an email from Warner Brothers and it
Like
showed
the
an
thumbnail.
image.
Yeah,
That's horrendous.
Bye, Halabibi. Thank you. Brendan V.
JP, good to see
You go pick up your son. People are leaving before us.
Yep, we live here. Flourish.
Love the cloak, Greg. Thank you so much. Maria Hammond gave it to me, Brendan V. I hope you're doing better, Brendan V. Every time I see your thumbnail prick, I'm always like, he looks like he's in a better place. And I realize that's always the same profile pic you've had forever.
That's a photo?
Yeah. It's a photo, and it's just that stays that
This
way.
isn't in Harry Potter where they change. That is a photo.
Motassem. Are you worried about, thank you for the super chat, about a watered-down Punisher in the MCU? Very much so. We've talked about it.
Yep.
I wish Marvel put him in Deadpool 3 since it's rated R, then a PG-13 Daredevil show. Thoughts? Well, I don't feel like Punisher would really work in Deadpool 3, despite the fact that that will be R-rated.
For a funny bit, but
Boston
not for real.
Strangler is not a Disney Plus thing. It's a Hulu thing.
I had Disney Plus on the posters.
Did it really?
Yeah, I literally have a poster. I mean, I'll show you after. It has Disney Plus on the poster of the screener I got.
Chris Evans was at the very beginning of this stream. You better go all the way back and
Click
watch the
back
next 3 hours,
ago.
Taylor.
Kick back in, journey back with us.
Yeah, I think the Punisher. It just sounds weird to say Disney Plus. The
Punisher on Disney Plus.
It just does not work in my head. It's really hard to wrap my head around the Disney Plus logo and the Punisher. But is the Punisher show currently on Disney Plus? The
I think
Netflix
so.
one? Which would be okay, that's
So
one.
it's there.
So it's there.
Arthur of Dreams, that's a high compliment. I appreciate you. He said my voice changed in Boston, sounded like Bill Burr. It's high praise.
I don't think a watered down version will work. I just don't think it will work.
He's only in an arc, I imagine, and it's going to be multiple arcs because they said this is the most serialized show. I think that arc will be very dark. I don't know what they'll let be shown, but I also wonder if because of Quantumania, they let the show be darker overall. They're just now filming it. What if the effects of these things let this be an experiment in like doing a metal show?
Hey, I'm optimistic, man.
I don't think Punisher, I don't think John Bernthal comes back unless he loves the take. Everyone is like, yeah, it's a paycheck. Yeah, but like John's not hurting for money. He has one of the big podcasts in the world out there, and he's doing it at his like house. The man's like, that's pure profit. And also like he's not gonna hurt for another acting role. Like I always hate the excuse of I'm mad at this thing. I bet the actor just needed money. I don't see that with John Bernthal. I see everything he does. So it's not like he's an obscure worker.
Yeah.
So like I don't think he comes back unless he likes the role.
While I didn't love the action scenes of Daredevil in She-Hulk. I feel like they will be better in the Daredevil show. That is such a staple of Daredevil. I was so impressed with how they gave us a different side of Matt Murdock Daredevil that seemed fitting for Daredevil.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I've lost faith that like Disney's gonna like fuck it up or something. I think I am concerned that like Punisher's just a different caliber. Like that has to be rated R. And rated R doesn't mean good. Punisher season 2 was not the greatest thing. It was not great. It had a great first episode, and then after that, it was like
first episode was so good.
I was like, this is a pretty rough experience. This is kind of boring.
It got like Luke Cage second half season 1. And that I do not say lightly because I love the first half of Luke Cage and I love the first episode of Punisher season 2.
Yeah, that first episode. So yeah, I think Punisher season 2 is. I think the next Punisher season. I'm a little bit. Again, it needs to be rated R, but rated R does not mean everything. However, this I think underline needs to be rated R. It's a must for me. I could still fathom a scenario of Daredevil not being rated R. Honestly, I can. I can like you've
There's so many great runs of the comic that
you can
are
make
lighter.
a hard, dark PG-13. You know.
Yeah.
Johnny.
It is on Disney Plus, full of blood and guts.
Yeah, but they don't fucking promote that shit.
No,
Like,
they
you got to
don't.
go search for
You
it.
gotta hunt it down, type it in,
Like,
the whole thing.
They're gonna promote it.
Yeah.
Like
Things might change.
Like maybe you might want to watch this. Like you gotta like type. Yeah, you
Really
really
the
do.
whole
You
name
gotta like
too.
type that shit in and look for it. You know?
PUNISHER season 2.
Johnny, feelings about Spielberg and Cameron filmography.
I love how broad this chat has been.
I think Cameron is one of the most innovative filmmakers of our time, and Spielberg, I hope he gets another hit.
Hey, West Side Story was delightful.
It was not a hit.
I think
he still makes good films. He's just not.
Fableman's was good, but it wasn't like I didn't think it was Best Picture. I think that he's in that legacy zone where like the legacy Oscars are coming around, but like which is tricky for what art is. But I think that Cameron I think is as you said earlier, more technically proficient than he's ever been, but his storytelling hasn't registered with me nearly as much as Terminator or what he did in the 80s and 90s. Spielberg is interesting because he's almost the other way, where like the storytelling is riveting, but the movies I walk out of like, that's the one time I'll probably see that. And like I'm always riveted for those 2 hours, but I'm never like, I would like to own this. And that's hard because I used to go the other way. So like I miss Cameron and Spielberg in their early stuff, whereas like I haven't seen a lot of Scorsese's early stuff, but I like the ones that no one else seems to like.
True. I love there's some Spielberg films I haven't seen lately, but sometimes you can still do big. I thought, for the most part, Ready Player One, for a guy his age to pull that shit off, it's pretty fucking impressive, honestly. Joe for show, and he could do action. I think Spielberg's actually an underrated action director.
I actually agree.
I think he's a very underrated.
I still think Jurassic Park is the best blend of CGI.
He does a lot of beautiful tracking shots.
Uh-huh.
Like he's really good at capturing wide. I think he's great at that.
He's a scope master.
And in his direction, even on the Adventures of Tintin, I'm like, this is beautiful action. Joe for show, thank you so much. How many MCU movies do you think Deadpool Ryan Reynolds will be in? I don't know.
3 in a show.
MCU movies? Three movies?
I think a Deadpool 3, an X-Force, and then he shows up in an X-Men. And I think we get something TV-wise that he pops up in but isn't the lead of.
Do you think he will be in Secret Wars?
Maybe. I could see that. I could see that making... Because the X-Men are going to be really vital, and I could see Deadpool being the like chaos energy to make that like a fun cameo. Like he might be in a couple scenes. Because what's more exciting than an Avengers team up and Deadpool? Like he's such a chaos element. I could see him popping up.
Yeah.
Because he's in there now. You're not gonna like bring in Ryan to the MCU unless you utilize him in those moments of, oh my god, I can't believe he's here.
I'm so excited for that movie.
I'm losing my mind.
I'm so excited for
like
it.
Ryan Reynolds in the MCU is insane.
It's weird because it's technically part of Marvel Phase 5 or 6, whatever. 6, I imagine 6. But I just don't look at it like that. I'm like, there's like Marvel Phase 5 and 6, and then there's Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3 is my most anticipated maybe anything.
And then it happens to be connected to the MCU, and I feel like the MCU can take the piss out of itself in a way that is
We need.
in a way that would be fitting and not like I thought She-Hulk. I know that finale is debatable for a lot of people, but I thought it was fun.
I don't know that I've ever been as excited by an announcement than Wolverine and Deadpool being in Deadpool.
Shit, man. Robert Piper. Hey, guys. Thank you, Robert Piper. Serious question here. Where the heck is your reaction to watch Lover Let's see this was on Wednesday. So I'm talking about.
Covered it.
I have talked about it earlier. I'm very up and down right now whether or not there's just going to be time to cover it. A big part of how when a video was done here, I'll admit the trailer reactions are the like we don't. If you look at the channel, clearly it's not like just bombarded with nothing but trailer reactions in the past few months, right? The trailer reactions are the ones I put the least amount of editing into, just because I'm just like, these got to get up quick. And I'm like, I'm gonna hope that the commentary is like good enough, and you know, I'll edit the intro, make a good thumb, and I'll edit the reaction. But for the most part, like it's like I keep that pretty raw, the actual conversation. But all the other videos, like that takes a lot of time, and so but a big part of it's to make it look like that this takes no work at all. I think sometimes people might mistake like I don't try to. It's weird. I don't want to say like we make it look effortless, but it looks like
less effort than it is.
Like, yeah.
There's effort.
Yeah. That's the way to put it. Like I think saying like it's effortless, and that's the thing. It'd be a little harder. Right now, I don't want to just announce every little thing I'm working on. I'd rather be like, this is officially happening. Here you guys go.
It's the Greg Alba slate phase 1.
Yeah, like here's everything I'm working on.
So next year, this is year 2.
I've learned my mistake of saying something too early, and then people just ask me about it for years. Rye Creates. No way. Thank you. Coming to WonderCon, and I'll be at your guys' panel. Thank you so much. I can't wait. Just want to thank you guys for making great content. Always helps me get through the day.
I am so excited to meet Reject Nation. I'm so excited for the number of people I've seen their names up being like, I'm blah, blah, blah at a panel, like a real Rejects panel. I'm so excited about.
I met a guy at the live event I did.
Yeah.
Who came down from Idaho.
Whoa.
To meet. And
that is flabbergasting.
And I was like, immediately like, oh, you must be like a big Campview fan. That's what I thought. He was like, they're for Campview. He was like, no, he's like, I kind of know them, but I really.
That's great, man.
I was like,
dude, I literally was at a screening and this guy came over so and I told you about
like you don't need to come down from Idaho.
the number of people that watch this that are like at screenings that I don't realize like how much of nerddom we impact is so cool, man. Guy from Cocaine Bear, big fan.
It shocks me. It does. If people ever, and I always say, if you do notice, if you do happen to like watch our shit, and if you do like it, come say hi. I'm always welcoming. But one day we'll get to the level where I'm like, can't you see I'm with my family?
I'm eating.
I'm trying
except at the bathroom.
I'm in my personal time.
Wait till I leave the bathroom. The uptick in urinal conversations has happened this year, and it's an odd thing. That's the only time I want my alone time.
Right, Creates. I'm happy that you're coming all the way down from South Carolina,
dude.
Did I read that right?
That is SC. That's crazy.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be great.
Dude, thank you. WonderCon's going to be incredible. I'm really excited.
Oblivion Radio. Koi.
Big Gambino fan. Have I checked out his new show, Swarm? I mentioned that earlier. It's on my list, very high on my list. I do think Childish Gambino is the most creative powerhouse in pop culture today, and I'm very excited that he's making new music, and I love Donald Glover very much, and I will be watching it.
I'm bringing sexy back. Robin West Parker. You also need to watch Intergalactic.
I do. It is an animated show on Netflix that is serialized. It was going to be showed, and then I made it a movie, and I need to watch it, and I will be, and I'm very sorry I haven't watched it yet, Robin, and I'm gonna.
Boom. Campia style. Love it. Stephanie Horton. Stephanie Horton saying, keep it up. Thank you so much. She's also one of our patrons.
Aw.
Super sexy reject, I should say. Thank you so much. You say that to a woman, and then you got to clarify that's what we call all the rest.
I mean, it is a line.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. One of the sexy male and female reject
Probably called the female reject.
A little weird. Channels do that, and it's not great.
It was funny meeting Ron Perlman. Throw Ron Perlman under the bus, which is exactly what he wanted to do.
I mean, he loves that.
Sure, the most intimidating motherfucker in the world.
Dude, I did an interview with him, and he is so hard to just look at the first time and not be like, oh my God, I'm going to be thumped.
Yeah.
He's got a thumping
unless
energy.
He's like your actual friend.
He's so sweet, but man, the energy is intense.
like it was funny he was at the Shazam premiere, and all the women he was always like, but the dudes, myself included, like.
Dude, he came out and I like immediately
Let me
looked.
take a photo with that. Like I'm not. It's not
No,
throwing
very
shit, but
kind.
Very kind. He was like, yeah, you can take a photo. Yeah.
His eyes, though, like when he looks in your eyes, there's such a moment of like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
he's scary. He's scary. A lot shorter than you'd expect.
True.
Yeah.
And so kind considering his voice sounds like it does. Like
Yeah.
his face and voice say, I want to hurt you, but his words are loving.
Yeah, he is an intimidating guy. Because even when I asked, "Can I take a photo with you?" He was like,
Yeah.
He just went, "Sure."
The
Like-
amount
Like
he
you paused and thought and went, "Sure."
he assessed. He assessed for you.
I'm like, this is scary. Like I've never been more scared to take a photo with
He
you.
also legitimately still loves Hellboy so much that it hurts him to talk about. And I've never seen an actor so invested in a character they're not still playing that he, like, we were talking at a Sons of Anarchy panel, and I was like judging the whole panel whether or not I should bring up Hellboy because the entire time, like, the Sons of Anarchy are hard men that happen to be actors. They're not actors playing hard men. Those guys
True.
are like Ryan North is very intimidating. Theo Rossi is a badass. And then Ron Perlman. So the whole time I'm like, do I bring up Hellboy because it's sensitive? But I had to. It's Hellboy. And then
boy.
like the moment of pause where he was like, I didn't take the role for 2 years because as soon as I saw Hellboy, I knew I'd love him. And until it'd be sure, I couldn't commit to it. And knowing that he's not playing him anymore, I was like, I've broken this man's heart all over again. He is
What
lovely.
did you do, Coy?
I broke Ron Perlman's heart. I love him so much.
He's a sensitive guy. At the end of the day, he's an actor. At the
True.
end of the day, people who play tough guys are actually really sensitive because
they're able to convey
actors.
acting.
They're fucking actors. Unless you're
love
like Danny Trejo, you know.
Franklin has
Yeah.
done some stuff.
Like because there is that part like whoever plays Hector in all those movies was like Hector in Fast and Furious.
Oh,
you know,
Noel G. Such
like,
a sweetheart.
but like there are actors too who were like former gangsters or prisoners
yeah.
that they were specifically pulled to be in there. And
There's
stuff,
this dude
man.
from Lethal Weapon that's like from South Central LA that is talked about like gang culture and getting into the arts and how it was an outlet for him and like it is intense.
Thank you, Fardon. Thank you. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, we're in the final stretch here. We got to call it quits. Thank you to everyone being here. Flickin' Real says, my boys, Jesse Swift. Thank you, Jesse Swift. Quirky Merc for life.
Quirky Mark for life.
Randy and Andy's channel. Yes, meant that with love.
Oh, dude, seriously, I was trying to contextualize how much it meant to me with the negativity
Ben
wrapped into my
Shapiro
journey.
over here.
So thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Robin West Parker, thank you so much. That is encouraging to hear. I'm not good at networking and don't enjoy it. It feels like a game everyone keeps telling me I need to play. Yep, the best way to do it is find a sincere, even if you are a fan or something like that, but the best way to do it is just take a genuine interest in something or have a question that stands out.
I'm so lucky that I love people because, like, I didn't come into this town with any, like, my last name doesn't mean shit in this town. And, like, my job is something I made up. But my love of people has made it so, like, networking is just, like, I love talking to people that every single person you meet has something in their life that you don't know. Every single person you meet has had an experience. Every single person probably knows something you'd like to know. Every single one has a journey that is unique to them. So for me, meeting someone is always going to be a learning experience, positive or negative. I will gain something from every interaction. So I go into every networking thing as if it's not networking. I go into it going like, what can I glean from this hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 5 minutes of my life that I couldn't have done by myself on my own at home? So I love people. And it's hard and intimidating if you think of it as networking, but if you think of it as like, what can I make about me different by having this conversation?
Yeah, I think if you go in thinking you're trying to sell yourself, you're going to fuck up badly. That's the way you don't want to do that. At the end of the day, most people, like when you're interacting, the best way to be likable in an interaction, I've learned from reading some books, is to ask about them. And the more you get them talking about themselves, they will be like, I really like you. And I'm like, the key is to be more of a listener and like find relatability.
And the genuineness of listening. It can't be like, ask this question.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
actually care.
Yeah, yeah. Up, down, 814. Thank you so much. Hey, Coy and Greg. Should be hey, Greg and Coy. What's up with this bullshit?
Alphabetical.
Nice save. Saw Shazam 2, and I had a fun time with it. It seems people are being cartoonishly mean at movies that aim to have fun. Yeah, dumbasses. I totally agree with your opinion, Coy. Hashtag Shazam.
I think the movie is aimed at a younger audience than it was received as, and I think that youthful exuberance is hard to critique. I don't think it's a poorly made film. I don't think
I
it
said
is.
the same thing about Thor: Love and Thunder.
I don't think that was aimed as young as it resulted in. That's the issue I had with Love and Thunder. Is
There's
it didn't feel like
little kids
children at the
getting
third act.
powers.
But then there's moments that feel so not like that movie. The movie's inconsistency is its issue. I think this movie is very consistently aimed young. I think that
There's some horror shit in here.
Yeah, but like I loved horror, like 80s horror when I was a kid. Like think of the Amblin horror. Like the E.T. has those moments that are terrifying with the guns they turn into walkie-talkies. But that was for kids, right? Like you know what I mean? Like we used to not coddle. And like I think this is a movie that doesn't coddle. I think that you need to have adventure in your story, and sometimes that is fear. So I enjoyed because it felt like something that when I was younger would have been my absolute favorite, and I was able to put myself in that headspace and not be critiquing that personally.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Different experiences are important. Again, a conversation is about different experiences. You like The Irishman, which I have never enjoyed.
Less cinema score than the first Shazam.
I mean, The Irishman is somehow revered.
The Brendan V, thank you, says, I really need to change my profile pic. Wish you could wrap me in the cloak. It looks comfortable. It really is. Well, this is my first time wearing it on a
Like
stream.
long form?
And then I was like, there is a comfort to it.
Oh, cloaks are amazing. Like if capes come back into fashion, I will be day one on that trend. Capes were like a thing in the 1800s, and I want them back.
I hope we go back to that.
If we go back to 1800s fashion,
we need like a nostalgia 1800s.
we just cycle back to 230 or so years ago for capes. Look at Elvis. Looked cozy and fashionable.
Thank you, Brendan V. And also, up Downey 14 says, I'm seeing Shazam for a second time. I hope Zack Levi stays in the DCU. I love Christopher.
The score was exceptional.
Zack, it was a great score. I did not mention that in the review, and I regret that. It was a great score.
I rarely mention scores or think of them. I thought of it, and I should have mentioned it too, because I was really impressed with it.
It was a good score, yeah. Yeah, Zack Levi was really dumb in this movie.
He was having fun, and I was having fun watching him have fun.
Asher Angel's like a normal 18-year-old, and then he turns to Shazam and he's like, oh, Solo Man.
That was a rough cut. That edit was one of the moments I was like,
I am stupid now. I did not get it. And the whole Shazam was like, yeah, you're stupid, Billy.
Some of us like Joy, Greg.
I was like, what the
Some
fuck?
of us like Joy.
Why are they so mean to him, and why is he this dumb? I don't understand. Someone said it in your review, like, I don't get Greg's assessment to Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm like, it's that right there. He's so dumb. Anyway, guys.
I do need a green cape.
All right, we're caught up. I got Baby Shower to get to.
I got gains to gain.
Thank you to all. You know, on the technical side, I still recommended it at the end of the day. I said it was just fun enough for me to recommend. But I'm just sick of feeling like we get so much of this shit. I'm so sick of things being in the mid for
We
me.
have to talk about it a lot more than most.
Yeah.
It needs to be great so we can be great.
I'm sick of things personally for me feeling like they fall in the middle.
Someone just said roles for Pedro Pascal in the MCU or DCU, and I literally thought of this as you said it, and now I'm in love with it, but I'm going to probably get in trouble for it being some sort of incorrect race. I don't know what race the character is supposed to be, but I don't care because I think it'd be perfect. Forge.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Pedro can do anything.
But like Forge would be so unique because like
he played white Texan Joel Miller in The Last of Us.
That's true, but I also don't know if there's not a lot of indigenous people in comic things. I'm not sure if Forge is like a First Nations person.
It's Pedro. You can cast him in anything.
Okay, that's fair.
All right?
I just don't want to take a role from someone, but I think Pedro would be a great Forge.
All right, guys. Hey, Bad Medicine, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. Thank you guys so much. It's insulting when Zachary Levi thinks a modern teenage. I know. It's not even. He's 18. He's about to be 18.
That man's going to vote poorly.
Actually, you know, I think it might have been Roxy who brought it up of saying, like, there's such a difference between. Because the thing in Shazam that bothered me about the dumb part is, like, it makes more sense in the first one. This is so new for him.
14, yeah.
I'm 14. I could be an adult. Like, I gotta pretend to act like an adult buying beer. Like,
that
this
was
is
fun. Yeah.
like the dumb humor doesn't register like he's dumb.
Sure.
You know, it feels like a kid who's trying to act like an adult.
Sure.
And then here, it was like they just made him dumb, and that was annoying to me.
I would have liked it if there was like, him. I thought they were going to do a thing where he was in therapy about his insecurities. So when he's in Shazam mode, his insecurities come out like brash.
Yeah.
And that would have been a different take that would
Yeah.
have worked.
Like it's a
maybe
front in
when he's
some way, yeah.
Asher, he's himself. But when he's in that, he's like, I have to be grandstanding even though I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And like that never got addressed. I would have preferred that. But at the end of the day, like it was somehow so joyous. Every time I thought anything logically, I was like, I'm happy.
I mean,
Like
don't-
it didn't work that I couldn't like judge it.
And don't get me, thank you, Jennifer and Chris. And don't get me wrong. I think Zach Levi still, there were parts that had some of the, like Zach Levi definitely had some moments that he made me crack up. There were a couple of moments.
I
that really-
loved Steve.
But even the thing with Steve, I'm like,
Oh, I loved
I
Steve.
would get distracted by like, why is he this? Like it was funny when Helen Mirren was reading all
That
that.
was
Like
genius.
it was one of those split feelings where I'm like, this is funny. At the same time, I was like, why is he so dumb? And
So
like,
it's really
why
funny.
Why is he that dumb?
I had that split feeling twice, and then suddenly Brian was like, "You want to be happy," and
Yeah.
I was able to separate all of it, and I think that may be why I did never want to become a critic to the scale that some people are, because I think they go the other way where they can't turn that off, and instead my brain was just like, "What if instead we choose happiness?" And I don't think that's necessarily always good, but I needed that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Well, this was a fun little thing to do since we haven't really talked much about movie news lately. And then, of course, the last hour turned into something else. But
Yeah, I was a journey.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It was just different.
But it felt like a good conversation to have. I appreciate everyone who's been here. On your way out, if you could leave a like, that would be amazeballs. Very much appreciate that.
Also, WonderCon next Sunday.
WonderCon, that would
11
be
a.m.
amazing to have you guys there. And who knows? Maybe we will live stream it. I don't know. I don't know. But know that I love you, every one of you, personally, built in, unconditional love. It's strange. You might be like, but Greg, you don't even really know us. You never even met us in person. Do you really love us, or is that just a thing YouTubers say? I'm here to tell you it's a sincere love. I'd leave my wife for all of you. So leave a like on this video.
I'm going to say I like you an awful lot.
Coy, that don't be a liar and insincere.
I like 'em.
Tell them you are in love.
I like each
Well,
and every
all
one
of
of you.
you would
An awful lot.
sacrifice other human beings to preserve their lives. You tell them
I
that.
would take a
Coy.
bullet for dozens of you. Dozens. We appreciate you. very
Giddy
much.
up, Cowboys.
Leave a comment. Let us know what else you want us to talk about. And I do want to do a Comics Corner soon. So tell Greg. You tell him.
All right,
See you next
where's
week.
this end stream
End it.
button?